Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Whitest Mexican You Know podcast. Obviously, I'm your host, Antonio, aka the Whitest Mexican You Know. Every episode, I try to have some of the best local Las Vegas comedians on here. Today's no different. Everybody, please give it up for my man Ahmed, Khater.
That's right, baby.
What's up, Daddy?
We're here. I don't know if I'm the best, but
you're one of them. That's
probably
why I fuck with you.
top Egyptian comic in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah. There's got to be at least
so
one
many
of
us. These fucking people.
So how's it been going, man? Grinding,
dude. Life is kind of, you think you know what's going on with your life, right? At a certain age. Like I always had this idea, at 24, I would, by 30, I would have a house and this and that, and everything organized. And now I'm an Uber driver, a single dad, and gonna have a roommate now. So that's fucking what?
It's fun. And how old are you now?
34. So this is fun, dude.
Yeah.
Just outing me on this fucking thing, my age.
That's all right. You're not a hot white bitch who's insecure about it.
No, dude. Honestly, 45 years old, as a man, that's when you start getting the bitches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're probably, hopefully, have some things going on in your life, or not. I don't know.
For us, probably not.
Probably not, dude.
I mean, so okay. You see me. I never grow facial hair.
Yeah.
I can't really. It's patchy. It's all bullshit.
Okay.
Only place I really do is I do get this real Mexican mustache that'll come in.
Not good.
The other day, I hadn't shaved in 2 days, mustache is coming in, and I'm washing my face and looking in the mirror, and I see a couple gray hairs coming in on my mustache already, and I'm like, I haven't even gotten to enjoy a facial hair yet. Now you're already
got grays?
Now you're already going gray, you motherfucker.
I mean, dude, I've been going gray in my beard on the bottom portion, especially on the goatee side, and now I just kind of embrace it, because I've always had issues with my fucking head, so I started going bald because I was like, why would I spend any more time on fucking worrying about what my hair looks like? And I was thinning, and everyone knew it, and now I'm bald.
You just have to commit to it,
and now I look crazy.
No, it's always a good look. You always see those guys. It's it starts to thin, and then one day they grow the beard and they shave the head.
Yeah, and then the girl, from what I've heard, girls think with the bald head and the beard, it looks more masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying I'm getting more bitches, but I'm getting more bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Good for you, bro.
I got to make sure I keep it light because, I got some hoes on the line, and they want to be daddy's wife. Habibi.
So we had to break out this whiskey.
That's right.
Don't know how you feel, but cheers, dude.
I wasn't gonna sip on something. I told you earlier. I was gonna bring in some kombucha teas so we can detox.
No.
But I had one earlier. I can't do two. I'm not a white
just
girl.
Shit yourself.
Yeah, dude.
In the middle of the podcast.
I was just detox my whole fucking body.
That's fucked. But you are a healthy guy.
I try.
You try to keep.
Yeah, because I had spine surgery, so I got to stay kind of light. But
really?
It's easy for me to gain weight. So when I try to keep workouts upper body stuff, just literally pull-ups, push-ups, and that's kind of about it. And if I do hit the gym, it's pretty I generally try to keep it pretty light and just kind of tone. And same thing with my lower body. I could probably do more weight if I want to, but this is the thing I was saying was that I remember Chris Rock, he made this joke about how his background, he doesn't have a big dick, but his background is small. And ever since then, I've been having an eating disorder because I've been trying to get my background smaller so my dick looks bigger. I want to be 150 pounds, just dick. You know what I mean?
Dick.
Yeah. I mean, because I got 6. Yeah. But when you're fucking short and thick, 6 looks weird. You look like you have a really small dick. But if you're leaned out at 150 with some skinny legs, look like you're hanging, son. Yeah. Especially in the summer, dude. My dick looks good in the summer.
Yeah, because I got 3 inches, but I got no ass and I'm super thin. So dude, it's hanging.
I got fat ass. We forgot. It's weird. I also I've been watching a lot of porn because I've been talking about I like to study a bit, when I'm doing a comedy bit, and if I'm talking about gay porn, or I have a new donkey bit about the donkey sex and
that's the
Mexico.
excuse I give myself when I watch gay porn.
Dude, I've been watching so many girls blow donkeys, dude, lately. It's been crazy.
It's wild.
But all the girls have how girls have their vagina and they got that hairline right there. I've been doing that
on your dick.
Yeah, so there's from my belly button all the way down a happy trail. all the way down to the shaft.
Yeah.
And I have a straight edge for my beard, and I've been I really get into it, and like I fucking line it up, dude. Crazy.
That is such a terrible that's a terrible hairstyle for a dick.
It looks, I mean, do you want to see it?
Fucking let's see it.
It looks good, man.
I don't give a fuck.
Dude, it looks really good. Yeah. I gotta get a little hard if I was gonna show you. That's
the thing. I gotta trim my shit up because like I'm in a relationship. We've been together 4 years almost. So sometimes this shit just gets out of control.
4 years?
Yeah, her and I've been together 4 years, man.
Holy shit.
It's wild.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about time to fucking move on.
No, Jesus, dude. She's the great. She's so nice. I swear.
Yeah.
And she's one of my people. So
yeah.
Better watch out, dude.
Middle East.
Yeah.
Why would you?
You give these girls a little bit of freedom, a little bit of, they can do whatever they want. Right. They're going to fucking lock you down, dude. Right. They're like, I don't listen to men no more. Fuck that.
Yeah. I mean, she just stopped wearing the burqa. She just gave me that trust where she doesn't have to wear it now. Oh,
I can't wait till she tries comedy. It's gonna be awesome.
I don't think she will ever. She's funny, but she can't handle the rejection that you get from comedy.
It's tough.
Women usually can't. Like,
it's tough, dude.
Especially a hot woman. Like, she's been hot her entire life. It's like she's never been rejected.
Well, dude, there's actually a funny story about you when I first met you. I remember I was at Dive Bar and I had this bit that I was talking about how like cutting someone's head off. And then it wasn't Dive Bar. It might have been Wise Guys. And then I remember I met up with you at I didn't know you at the time, but I saw you at Artifice.
Okay.
And I was just talking to you about it. Just met you.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why would you think that would go good? That's what you told me. He's like, how did you think that was gonna go? And I was like, this guy sucks, dude. And then eventually I was like, oh, this guy's the coolest guy I've ever been. That was wild.
I mean, but that's the reality of it. Yeah. It's like, just because you think it's funny, it's like you have to go, how do I think this is gonna go? Yeah, I gotta really think about this.
I was like, good point, dude. That really settled, because I used to be like, right when I started, it was always crazy, edgy shit. And then I started tailoring it down. Because basically the first 4 or 5 months, it was just a bomb session.
No, yeah.
Every fucking day.
That's how it is.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And I remember I had like one good moment at Wise Guys. And remember that there's that guy, the wrestler guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
And I went on stage after him. I was like, imagine if I did that as a Muslim. And then like the place like erupted.
Nice.
And then I was like, all right, cool. And then I went into my bit. And then it finally figured some stuff out.
Yeah.
And when I was leaving, Bree was like, oh man, that DJ Khaled bit really started hitting hard. I was like, thanks. Like, fucking finally. And Preacher Lawson was there.
Oh,
and he's like, dude, you do look like DJ Khaled. And I'm like, yeah. Nice. And I was like, that's part of my joke, dude. Because I'm such a fucking joke writer, dude. Like, fucking out here just writing these jokes.
Yeah, good I am.
Yeah, dude, I'm fired,
fucking dude. Comedian, dog.
So we started, like, talking, and, like, he has a lot of, like, things that I like, MMA, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, hey, why don't you take my number down, send me your set, and I'll, like, coach you.
Nice.
And I was like, what?
That's fucking
Because
awesome.
I've seen that guy start. I remember I used to watch America's Got Talent and cry every night. Because I have
no talent.
That. No. Fuck. I'm fucking leaving, dude. I'm fucking done, dude. Cut it.
That's a wrap.
It's a quick podcast, man. Oof. Wow, that really hurt. No talent.
I love that. I love how quick I can come up with shit sometimes. That's my favorite thing is like such a quick insult. Oh, like I used to watch this radio show.
Yeah.
Opie and Anthony. And it's like, there's two radio guys, and Jim Norton used to be a regular on that show. And they would get a bunch of fucking New York comics on there, and just the fucking lightning speed of how they could just trash each other is my favorite thing in comedy.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking. That's like one of the reasons why I love comedy, because I used to do that shit at work. But let me do the preacher thing. So basically, because I have some talent, I swear to God, ladies, I have talent. So much talent, it's fucking crazy.
I mean, ladies, even if he doesn't have talent, apparently he has really good dick hair.
Yeah,
so
I line that shit up every Wednesday. Yeah.
See how crisp his beard is? His dick hair is even better.
So I fade that shit out I'll fade out your pussy hair too, bro. But yeah, so I remember I sent him the the video and he accidentally hit exclamation point. I was like, oh, that's a weird response.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he sent me. So then he sent me a voice message. He's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, why don't you try to start talking about yourself more because you have an interesting story. Because obviously I will tell you that I grew up in a trailer park as a Muslim for 21 years. And he was like, you know, maybe you can try to like talk about stuff like that. And I was like, all right, cool. And but like I can't just like come up with this because I was still like at that time. People would ask me how much time I've had, and I'm like, a minute.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just being realistic.
And that's good. That's
like,
good.
because I was like, I got like 2 fucking lines, 2 to 3 lines. That's it.
Yeah.
And I just like to be realistic with things because I don't know, like, how I look at time for material is like, am I willing to put this out there in the universe and think like it could actually like be a part of a special? And if I don't think so, then I don't really believe in the time. Yeah, I can go up there and bullshit for like a couple fucking 10 minutes, but like it's not great. But that's part of the process is figuring it out. Oh, yeah. So then the next day, so he was just coaching me up. Next day I go to Wise Guys again. He's there and there's a lot of people there. This is when Wise Guys was really popping. Remember, but like we'd get like 80 to 100 people on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Yeah. And like it's crazy. Carlos the comedian, right? Great guy. He's like, hey, you're going first. I'm like, why? He's like, you're on the list, email list. I'm like, don't you need to organize that? Like, this is like what everyone does. Like, don't you want to set that shit up, dude? He's like, no, dude, you're going first. You're first. And like, this guy's, I mean, he's always kind of been a guy that like I just randomly run into or randomly do a show with him, Carlos. And he's always like, you know, he's kind of a cool dude in the comedy world. Like, he kind of very, very positive dude or whatever. And he's like, go up there and fucking kill it, dude. You'll be fine. Yeah. So I go up there and I fucking killed it. And then I come off the stage. I remember Preacher Lawson came running over, gave me a huge hug, and was like, and then he coached me up after. Nice. Which was fire. Oh, yeah. And then he was like, hit me up when you come to New York. I was like, all right, dope. Beautiful. And I remember Casper came and Casper was like, holy shit, dude, you killed it. Like, finally. Finally. He out here doing like 20-minute sets. I'm over here doing a minute, like just dying. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And, but yeah, I actually ended up seeing him in New York City, went to one of his shows, and I didn't really talk to him much. I just was in the city just checking it out. And it was at the Stand, which one day I hope I perform there. That place is fire. Yeah. And like one of my friends actually knows the executive chef there, and I almost got a 5-minute spot there. Nice. It's this fucking close. If I stayed another week, I would have gotten it, but I just couldn't. Damn. But yeah, like that was that story. And like that's kind of what motivated me to keep going with comedy. And I'm like, maybe one day, I don't know what's gonna happen with comedy. Like we all think we're gonna make it, right? But obviously that's not. But
everybody has a different idea of what making it is.
Yeah.
Because some people, you can see them, you know who they are. They want to be famous.
Yeah.
I don't. Like,
yeah, I don't care really.
I don't care if I'm famous or if I'm a big name. Like I compare it to who's my favorite living comedian right now is Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
He is not a household name. If you're a comedian, you probably know of him. But he makes his living off of comedy. He has his dedicated fan base, and that's all he needs. And he can do comedy when he wants. He can take as long, of a break as he wants if he feels like it, and that's all I want. Yeah. I just want to be able to make a good living off of comedy.
Yeah, just like be able to survive,
have my fan base. Like I don't want to be on the fucking Tonight Show or any of these fucking things. I don't want to be a household name.
And that's probably the most competitive portion of comedy right there is just making that like 2,000 a week.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like even making it to that point, that's very difficult. And we don't even know, like, you're still 2-3 years in.
Yeah.
I'm approaching a year. Like, I don't know I don't even know if I'll be doing this in 2 years. Really? I mean, I don't know. Like, I just don't, like, I know I want it and I know I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to go on stage. I mean, I've gone on stage almost every single day since I moved back.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 or 3 times a night, like depending on where I'm at.
Yeah.
And like I'm dedicated. All I do is watch comedy videos. All I do is study. All I do is just watch. Now I don't really write because I mostly write on stage.
Yeah.
Because it's just more fun for me.
How is that process actually? Because I kind of do the same. Like I kind of write on stage, but then I write, I have to sit down, write some shit. So how does that, do you go up there with like an idea?
Yeah.
And then you just kind of work it out up there?
So like basically, I like to think like differently with ideas, right? So like, let's say like that gay bit that I have, right? Like it's about my life and going through a breakup.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, okay, well, everyone's gone through a breakup. Everyone has every comedy thing I've ever seen. They always talk about like going through this, Tinder, that, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, well, how can I fucking make a difference?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I started watching gay porn.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Right. So like, and so I'm trying to figure that out. And then I was like, okay, how can I make a COVID bit? Because if I don't want it to be, like just like I went to the store. So what I did was I was like, okay, like let's talk about me going to a donkey show.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was like, how can I work in COVID in that? And then I just like came up with it on stage.
Yeah.
And basically at the end, I say something like, because we had to walk in there with because I remember going to Tijuana during COVID. Everybody was masked up still. Even in America, we weren't, but like in Tijuana, we were. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is wild. And like they're still checking temperatures, doing all this shit. Yeah. So I was like, so like I'm going to this fucking donkey show and they're checking my temperature. Yeah. I gotta wear a fucking mask, right? And then like I remember I was like, I'm just kind of coming up with this, just going on the fly, which I'm probably gonna do tonight at the 10-minute mic. And then I talk about how like I wanted this. I'm like senses kind of guy. I like senses. Like I like smelling, touching, feeling. So I was like, I want to smell these. What donkey sex and human sex is like. And I was like, oh, it smelled like a ribeye. And I kept that shit down. And when the bitch was coming off the stage, she was like, hey, can you put your mask up? Yeah. So like, something like that. And I was like, bitch, what? You just took a bunch of donkey cum to the face? Like,
my first thought is, are they testing this donkey for COVID for this poor young woman?
So like, I want to do things that are going on in life that we all have been through in a completely different angle. Yeah. And the way that I write it on stage, you're gonna bomb way more. And on top, and you know how it is when we do edgier stuff. We bomb. You're gonna fail way more than succeed when you're trying to do like more like softer shit or whatever. Yeah. And like, but like I grew up in an edgy life. Like I grew up in a trailer park, dude. I ain't got time for fucking like. I don't got time for anyone's sensitivity. So I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want, man.
Yeah, it's not a chicken cross the road type shit.
Dude,
it's like I'm going to tell you about the time that I was high on morphine and trying to eat pussy.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean? It's like, that's real shit that I went through.
Yeah. And like, that's like the stuff that I love. Like, so basically I will sometimes write a line or two just to remember if it's something that like sticks in my head, and then I'll go on stage with it and I'll just live in the moment. That's one thing that Ty Rivera told me. When I was bombing so much, I was just writing everything down at the beginning and I was forgetting lines and this and that. And I've never, so I can't, one thing about me, I can't remember lyrics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like I just can't do it. Like I've listened to Juice WRLD a lot, right? Like I was talking about earlier, off air, fucking off air show. I don't know what I'm doing, but anyway, so like I listen to one song almost every single time and I still can't truly remember the lyrics. Like here and there I remember some stuff or whatever, but like not fully remember them. But when I started just kind of listening to him and when he was like, just live in the moment, see what happens. And I was like, okay, cool. And that's what I did. And it started imprinting in my head.
Okay. Because it's the experience is more memorable than you just trying to remember words.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of like how I remember my bits. Like, do I organize them? Not really, honestly. And that's probably why I haven't been able to push forward yet with like going on shows, and I'm not that confident. But I'm just learning. I'm just trying to just go on stage and almost be funny every single time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the ultimate goal.
That's the goal for me. Yeah. Like for the time and the minutes will come with time. Like, and I'm not trying to rush in the process here. Yeah. So,
and see, I just did something interesting that I hear, a lot of big name comics talk about is because I've been really hammering in this 10-minute set. Yeah. Because like before I went to Texas for a month, I had this 10 minutes that I had been working on for the last fucking 2.5 years. Yeah. And really honing it in. And then I went to Texas and I got a lot of 10-minute like book gigs and stuff like that. And so I was really trying to focus on this set, Then I got back here and got another couple book shows while I've been out here to do that 10-minute set, and I've been hammering it home. And then on Monday I went to the penalty box, Dennis Lavender's spot. He wanted me to do 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I know this set front to back. Yeah. How about if I open with my closer and
switch it up,
flip the entire set on its head? Yeah. See if I could pull that off. And so I wrote the set list out from, what I usually close with and all of that until, my usual opener. And I just went for it. And it actually went really well. Like I was able to pull it off.
Yeah.
And, but it was funny because I'm driving home and I was talking to my girl about, what I did and all of that. And I was like, I don't know what the grand takeaway is. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm supposed to learn something, I don't know what it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing I can come up with is like under pressure and like getting out of my comfort zone of the normal set that I usually have.
Right.
That I can still pull it off. Yeah. And I was like, that's the biggest lesson that I learned from this. But it's like, other than that, like I hear all these big name comics talk about how good it is to do that. I was like, I just don't know.
So basically, like from what I've learned from listening to comics and just like in life in general, is like once you're comfortable with something, make yourself uncomfortable. Yeah. Like once you make yourself uncomfortable, it rewrites the like wiring in your brain. Yeah. And then you go into a different avenue, and you might find some things differently within your set. Yeah. That you never even knew about. Yeah. Right. So and that's kind of like. So I have this set that, the one that my kid or whatever, right? And it's like a 5-minute set. Sometimes it crushes and sometimes it's an absolute bomb. So like I had a show that I did. It was an open mic, and then all of a sudden this guy shows up. His name's Scrunjo. Do you know who this guy is? He's idea. Like he was on Wild and Out. He was in that movie.
Oh, yes, I do know.
Black dude, right? Yeah. And he was in that movie How High. And my friend took me there. He's like, yeah, it's an open mic. And I'm like, okay. And I show up, and like one comedian goes up, he's like, yeah, I've been on fucking tour with Mike Epps 25 years. I'm like, what is going on? What kind of fucking open mic is it? Yeah. And then like then he does like 20 minutes, and then Scrunjo goes up, and we're like, this guy's then this and that, and then Scrunjo. I mean, there's only like 20 people there. He's like, and he was just roasting the crowd. Yeah. Talking about how this is the smallest crowd I've ever done. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to go up to each and individual person and do my punchlines. It was hilarious. It was so funny. Nice. And, I mean, he did like an hour and a half. Damn. Right? And then my friend was like, yo, are you going to go up? And I'm like, I guess. I was like, I'm going to ride that fucking momentum, dude. I've never felt more confident. Some people, like I've noticed, just listen to podcasts or just in general, like they don't like to go up after a beast. I look forward to it. Yeah. Like, give me that fucking momentum.
It's always, and this is the thing I've always said, is like, because I also hate going up after somebody who bombs. Yeah. But I also hate going up after somebody who crushes. Yeah. It's because in both those scenarios, you're either going to be able to, with the dude who crushed, you could ride his wave and everything is great. Or you could completely tank the entire show. And so everybody was having a great time, and then you got up there and fucked it. Yeah. But with the bombing, it's like if somebody bombs right before you, either the crowd is in a weird mood and you're going to go up there and bomb, or you can ride that momentum of this dude fucking sucked, watch how great I am, and fucking destroy.
Right. Like that's kind of like what I did. And I just went on stage. I crowd worked a little bit. Yeah. And talked to a few people, telling them like, fucking my friend brought me here and to fucking bomb basically in front of you fucking people. Like it was all black room too. Yeah. And like sometimes I do good in those rooms, sometimes I do bad. And but I crushed. And then that dude talked to me and this Eddie and my other friend Connor for like an hour, Scrunjo, and he gave us his number. And then, like, I mean, he's been doing comedy for like 25 years. He's just fucking crazy, dude. Yeah. His comedy was unbelievable. That's awesome. I'm like, how the fuck aren't you like? Yeah. What's it like? And that's when it hit me. I'm like, you think you're gonna go these paths with comedy, but like sometimes it'll lead you a different way. Yeah. And like, but you're still a beast comic. Like it's wild. Yeah. Dude. And it's like a guy, like, it's just crazy. And then like I did a show with Melvin. Oh no! So then that Sunday, I'm like confident, right? Yeah. And I go to Square Bar. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna crush. Yep. I'm gonna fucking crush because I had the burlesque show. Oh yeah. And then there was a lot of people there, and I made a video like before, put on my shorts.
Watch me crush, bitch.
Yo, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna fucking just absolutely destroy. Yep. And then I went up there and ate all the dicks. Yeah. Like it was a disaster. And then Josh Lindauer, who's been crushing, just goes up and murders. And his stuff is edgy. So obviously it's me. It's not the crowd. Yeah. So that's like a lot of like realization you have to have with comedy. It's like sometimes, yes, it's the crowd, but most of the time it's you. Like, you know,
that's what I hate. Because I've used that excuse in the past. Like, it was a weird crowd. Yeah. The only time I'll use that excuse is if the entire show went on and with every single comic, the crowd was weird. Yeah. Like, if that's the case, then yeah, crowd is weird. I bombed because they're a little weird tonight. But I've seen people go up there and murder, and then the next guy gets up there and bombs, and then he gets off and goes, fucking weird crowd. And I'm like, well, the guy before you fucking murdered.
Yeah,
so
dude. So,
you're doing something wrong.
And so, like, I fucking ate dicks there, but it's an open mic, so I don't really care if I eat dicks.
Yeah, that's where you're supposed to bomb.
Yeah, like, I don't give a fuck, and I don't really care, like, what happens. Like, yeah, I know, you know, what's his name, who runs all those mics? I forgot his name. Ian,
yeah.
Like, he's obviously a pretty important person in the comedy scene because he can give you time or whatever and this and that. But, like, I'm not here. Like, I'm still trying to learn, man. And this learning process takes years. Yeah. And even when you get to a point of 10 to 15 years, it still takes more years. Yeah. It's almost like becoming like a black belt. Like, once you become a black belt, doesn't mean you know everything. There's black belts who are better than you now. So you got to figure out how that shit works, right? So I bombed there. And then Thursday, I go to, or Wednesday, I go to Melvin's show. Mm-hmm. And Melvin, I met him at Star Lounge, where I bombed as well, pretty much. Yeah. I did all right. It wasn't that bad. Not Star Lounge, Star Base.
Oh, right.
Aldo booked us for that show. So I went there, did all right, whatever. And then, like, he was like, yo, come do 10 for me at the place, at the hookah lounge. I was like, let me just do 5. And he was like, you're doing 10. I was like, I'm doing 5. Like, get the fuck out of here. And then, so, like, we go, and first comedian goes up. It's that black dude. I forgot his name, man. But he bombed. And then, like, it just, from there, it's just me. I went bombed. Yeah. I mean, I did all right. I had a couple of jokes at the beginning. Yeah. And I was like, oh, y'all do laugh. All right. Like, sure. You know, and obviously an all black room and stuff. And then, like, I bombed at the end. And then Jimmy McMurrin went after me. Mm-hmm. So he was there, and he, like, started off good. Obviously, he's Jimmy. Yeah. And, like, but he was still, like, pulling teeth to get them to laugh. And he was, like, yanking them, dude. And then, like, this last girl goes up and she just crushes. Really? I don't know who she is, but she did a lot of crowd work and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it was a disaster. I'm like, wow, dude, do I need to throw this set out? I go to San Diego. I go to Laguna Beach to see my sister, mm-hmm. right? And then from an hour from there is La Jolla Comedy Store, right? So I put my name in the hat. I called in, and they're like, okay. And then, like, I'm watching Facebook Live. I'm like, did I get picked? And it's like number 16, Ahmed Khater. I was like, yeah. So I start fucking driving down there, nice. And then I show up. And I'm like, number 16 to go. I'm like, oh, that sucks, dude. Probably the crowd's going to leave. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that there's a showcase after. Mm-hmm. So people are coming in late. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And they roll through their minutes just kind of like wise guys. Yeah. You know, there's no host in between, really. Well, there's a host in between, but he doesn't bullshit. He just calls up the next person. Yeah. I saw a comic go up, probably a school shooter. Straight up. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, this guy's a school shooter, right? Yeah. So I just went on stage, and I saw a bunch of white dudes, military dudes. I went on stage, and I was like, you know, it's my first time here at a comedy store in La Jolla, and I've never seen so many school shooters try out comedy in my life. And then there was like one black person in there. I was like, you know, we're both to go. If they kill me, it's a terrorist attack, so that's like whatever. If they kill you, it's an activist situation. Black Lives Matter is going to roll up in this bitch, you know? And then I think I saw a bunch of white boys, and I was like, what's up, fellas? What y'all boys storming this year? The Pentagon? And then it just fucking erupted. And I was like, when I see a bunch of white boys like you, I just see 2024 Trump, baby. Like, I ain't trying to leave this country. And it just went wild. And then I rolled into my bit of my son, and then it crushed. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, like, dude,
sometimes that it really is, you know, kind of building confidence. Yeah. Like building the audience confidence in you. So it's like you either have to come up with fucking haymakers to open, or do some crowd work so that they can kind of be on your side and then go into your normal jokes. And because they're already feeling you, it might work 10 times better than you expect.
Yeah, and it's just trying to win them over early. Yeah. If you can kind of win over a crowd early, from what I've seen, you can kind of say anything on stage.
Yeah. What I love to do, because I have the bit that does it every time. Yeah. That will not turn a crowd against me, but make the majority of the crowd go, ugh. Yeah. And it's the one about, like, eating pussy on morphine. Yeah. The punchline is like, why does your pussy smell like gingivitis? Yeah. And it's like a whole thing. But that line, I've noticed, I'm never going to rewrite it because it works. Yeah. It makes half of the crowd laugh and the other half just groan. Yeah. And that's usually smack dab in the middle of my set. Yeah. So it's like I usually get them on my side, lose them with that one, and then get them back, or I try to get them back by the end of it. Yeah, dude. Like, it's, and that's like that struggle that I keep myself in. It's that fucking it's like a like, you know, you like MMA and all that. It's like if I know that I can fucking guillotine an audience every fucking time. I don't want to do that. I want a challenge. I want to be able to break
make it hard
free
for yourself.
Yeah, I want to be able to break free and then still make you tap by the end of it.
I made it too hard for myself. I had that EPT joke, and it hits with white people. Sometimes it doesn't really hit with black people. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the crowd and if I really truly win them over. But like sometimes I just got to take it out. And I think one thing you told me was like take out a joke and stash it away.
Oh yeah.
Stash it away for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then bring it out when you're more comfortable. Like,
that's the advice Bruce Purcell gave me.
Yeah.
And one of the best advice I've ever gotten from a comic is he said, it's not a bad premise. He goes, but you're not good enough to attack this yet.
Yeah, you're just not ready.
He goes, put it on the shelf and come back to it. He goes, come back to it in just a couple years, man. And he goes, you'll have that fucking rhythm. You'll know what you're doing with this bit. He goes, but I think you should just put it on the shelf for right now.
Yeah, that's kind of like, I put a couple things on the shelf. Sort of like I still kind of dabble into that school teacher thing, which is a tough bit to get over. Like, I know I can figure it out eventually, but I just don't know when. Yeah. And that's the bit where, like, my teacher, I talk about, like, how he was during the 9/11 times, like, racism was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Right. And, like, one of the reasons why it stopped for me was because my teacher fucked 2 students.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, and then I talk about, like, how it was a positive impact in my life or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's something obviously there.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah.
So I got to just chill out, keep trying it at these open mics. Don't put it in a show yet. Like, go with your A material, which you think is A, but might be a fucking D-. Like,
and a good fucking thing that I've started to do is, like, if a bit has multiple points, like that one seems to, it's like the racism, teacher fucking, or fucking students, and then the impact that it made on your life. It's like, if I could break that up into the 3 segments, start doing that. Start separating out those segments. Write for them individually and perform them individually. It's perform the one about the racism. And then try to find jokes within that. Do that one time. Yeah, and then good. The teacher fucking, it's like, do that just individually, and then eventually you'll be able to fucking connect it.
Yeah, because like that's what's really good about Wise Guys too. Is like if you're not usually I want to go do like my best stuff at Wise Guys, or like when I'm confident in a bit, I try to put it on there. Yeah. But then. But the thing is that it's 3 minutes, so like you can really break up your bits and like really focus on one portion of a bit and try to really hammer it out.
Oh yeah.
And I've done that with that Casey Anthony bit, and I really hammered that out, and it killed there. And I was like so confident, it fucking bombed like in the fucking other spot. But like anyone out there trying to be a comic, like the bombings are hard, man. Like there's no way around it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the learning experiences that you get from bombing is crazy. Like honestly, bombing is hard. What's even harder is if you record your videos, try watching it. Good luck, dude.
No fucking
good
way.
Fucking luck. I don't even want to watch the good ones because they're so bad.
Yeah. There have been times where I knew walking into it, I'm gonna bomb.
Yeah.
And my girl goes, "You want me to record you?" I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to remember this until I'm too drunk to remember it. After that, I don't want video evidence of this. Like, it's hard. Like you said, it's hard to go through a bomb. It is 10 times worse trying to fucking watch the bomb.
Dude, like I couldn't imagine what porn stars go through, dude. Like, just like, do they have bombing sessions? Like, this girl shit all over a dude or something when they're doing anal?
Actually, have you ever watched porn bloopers?
No, I try not to.
They're brutal. They're best.
I mean, I should. I watched donkeys getting sucked off the other day for hours.
Yeah, I've watched a dude fuck a chicken. You know, I mean, it was wild.
We're fucked up, aren't we?
I mean, we all are. Yeah. All comics really are.
Yeah.
I was at Free Zone one time, and I don't know what prompted it, but I started telling the story because I don't do this as a bit. I just said how I've seen a video of a man fuck a chicken. And as I'm telling the story about, what it felt like, I mean, not for the chicken, but like what it felt like watching it, there's this Filipino couple, or like a little family of Filipinos that are sitting there, like from the Philippines. Yeah. And like when I said, the dude's fucking the chicken, the dude in the table, he goes, "Whoa!" I was like, all right. I was like, I don't know what goes on in the Philippines.
Well, dude, they got the crazy cockfights out there. Yeah. My friend, I used to live with, his name's Jesse. Good kid. His girl is Filipino, and he had these videos of the cockfights in there, and they put razor blades, bro, on the bat, bro. They be chopping the fucking, chopping the head off.
I'm not gonna say my family, but people associated with my family used to raise chickens for cockfighting.
What's wrong? Why can't we do that?
It's animal cruelty, I guess. It's like the same thing like dog fighting.
I just don't understand this country sometimes. Like, we fucking treat these animals like they're God. It's so weird to me. Like, I would kill a dog so fucking fast, and I don't give a fuck about it. I really don't.
But aren't you from a Muslim country?
Yeah, dude, we don't give a shit about these things.
They give a shit about cows, right?
No, we're not fucking Indian, dude. I'm not Oshkosh Singh over here. I'm not harsh.
I don't know all these brown people.
I'm not Russell Peters, dude. What's the fucking other one? Oh, he's really good. Aziz Ansari, dude.
Yeah. I don't know you brown people and what you believe in.
No, dude, we fucking eat. We just don't eat pigs, which is a totally dumb situation in my opinion. But I think I understand why. I think pigs used to basically get people sick.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, oh, it's fucking dirty, and it's like, have you seen what cows do? They literally eat shit. Like, that's what they do. Yeah. Like, so
pigs just eat everything.
Yeah, it's wild. But like, yeah, man, like in my country, well, I only lived there for 2 years because I was born there, but then moved to New Hampshire. But like, you know, we as Muslim country, like, we treat people better. Like, we treat people better than like animals. And here it's the complete opposite.
Except for women.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, here the women. I mean, well, they're dogs. Are they dogs?
The bitches, right?
Well, they're starting to become more progressive over there because like progressiveness brings more money, but it brings a lot of bitches. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to say bitch ass N word, but like, I'm not. You know, it's starting to become colder, and I'm not that tan anymore. So let's be really honest here. I haven't been running outside, but like, yeah, like, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. Like, I literally want to just kick dogs all the time. Like, I see somebody walking their dog, I just want to kick it, or in the fucking restaurant, I want to punch it right in its fucking face.
Right.
But
you're not an animal guy.
I know. Right. Sorry, I got like angry there. See how like terrorists?
But I don't. Yeah, it's terrorists coming out.
Yeah.
But I don't understand is why we eat certain animals in this country and don't eat others.
Dude.
Like dogs. I don't see why we don't eat dogs.
Yeah, I would eat a dog so fast, dude.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And horses. Yeah. Horses are actually, it's a great meat. It's very lean. It's very good for you.
Yeah.
We don't eat horses in this country.
Yeah, it's weird.
For what?
I don't get it. I kill all these animals, dude. I don't give a shit anymore.
Let me eat everything.
Like, we have a fucking, I remember I was reading a story yesterday, right? One of the girls that hit me up, she was like, I guess there's a snow crab shortage. I'm like, come on. What are we talking about here? And then I was like, what's the political spin here? And I went online and it was like, oh, there's a global warming. Which is causing the snow crab shortage. I'm like, or it's fat ass Americans eating snow crabs. I mean, what are we talking about here, dude?
Why is she so concerned about it? It's like, does she eat the snow crab? It's like, okay, bitch.
So this girl,
does she keep it as a pet?
I don't know, but like, this girl that I know, she's pretty cool. She was like, oh, I love comedy. I'm like, okay, who's your favorite comic? And she was like, Dave Attell. And I was like,
oh, all right,
we could hang.
Yeah, that's not the usual answer.
Yeah, you lose 40 pounds, we can really hang. That's fucking terrible, dude. I'm so shallow, and I shouldn't be because I have like a 5-inch dick. Like, but when I'm 150 pounds, it's gonna look like I'm hung.
I like how you're slowly becoming more real with yourself because in the beginning you're like, it's 6 for sure. It's a 5. By the end of this, you're gonna be like, all right, it's a little button, but it works.
It's in between 5 and 6. I would say about 5.25, which is a solid number.
5 1/4.
And it's not thick, so it's really weird because I'm built thick.
Yeah.
So stupid, dude. I can't believe my parents. Fucking, what were they thinking to hooking up, dude?
Damn,
these cunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, life is crazy. I'm a wild animal, man.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I still remember the best set I ever saw you do.
Which one?
This is when you were on mushrooms.
Oh god, dude! I still have I need to talk about that on stage, don't I?
You should. Yeah,
maybe I'll do that.
It's a good experience, man.
Yeah, and I'll just like try to, because like everyone's usually that we did mushrooms are at Ocha, and Ocha, honestly, like I feel really free there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because like it's one of the first places I went to do a mic, but I feel really good. It's like I feel like it's home almost. Oh, so nice. I really hope Ocha like stays forever.
Yeah.
But like, because I know Sometimes Ocha is like some of the best where I've had my best sets. Like that fucking gay set that I had was wild. Like, but I went up after a guy who didn't get one laugh. So it's like, but like if it's like, you know how hard, like Ocha is mostly comics, and it's like it's hard to make the comics laugh. So it's kind of like that's where I would like to test my new material because you guys haven't heard this shit yet.
Yeah.
But what's cool if I do that mushroom bit, that would be like something we all have been through together.
Yeah.
And it's like almost
it's like we haven't heard the bit, but we were there for the story.
But like,
so it's like see your side of it.
Yeah. Well, what's really cool is that we could all do that bit.
Yeah.
Right. So we could all be like, dude, I was fucking hanging out with these dudes, and like I got my fucking version, you got your version, and Casper has his version, Jake Yarbrough has his version. Like imagine that, dude. We all do the bit. Jordan Perry, like we all do the bits.
Dude, it was so good. It was so good just because it was like a gang of us. It was like almost 7 of us.
Yeah.
And then we just took over that open mic, and then it was like we kept going up there, and everybody's just talking about doing mushrooms and eating brisket and shit, and they had no idea what was going on.
Such a good day, man. That was before.
That shit was so fun.
Oh man, that was wild, dude. What a wild time, man. That's like, and that's when I started realizing, like, obviously there's a lot of reasons why I moved back, but like the community here is pretty fire.
Yeah.
And I was really trying to like, I do this a lot with my life and just in general, like with everything, is that I act like the things are here are terrible, or I act like things are going bad in my life. But when I really just like take a step back, it's like good. And I was acting like the Vegas scene wasn't that great, but it's pretty damn good.
No, it really is.
We get a mic every single day, sometimes 2. We get so many opportunities to get on shows. You can't do that in other places. It's just impossible. And because we're not a saturated market in comedy, to be honest.
No, we're not. There's not a whole lot of fucking comics out here. If you really boil it down, there's probably like what 50 to 100 of us, if that.
That's at Wise Guys Comics, like right. You got the Wise Guys Comics.
Yeah.
That's a different comic, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, but you have like,
because there are a lot of those guys that I never think about it, but it's like I only ever see them at Wise Guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, how the fuck do you want to do this?
Yeah.
But you're only hitting what 1 or 2 mics a week?
Come to Kevin Whitney's mic.
Yeah.
They're
10 minutes of what?
10 minutes at the plate after bingo with a bunch of old bitches. That's what happened last week.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out a fucking trailer park set.
I should go there tonight.
I'm going there tonight. It's a fucking good time, dude. 10 minutes is.
I haven't been to the plate yet. I just keep going to the Carl Martins one.
The plate's kind of far out there, but the problem. So the thing that I did last week, I was like, let me riff. I've only really riffed at 5 minutes, not 10.
Yeah,
that's brutal. Let me tell you, that was brutal.
Oh, I know.
But you know, it is what it is. And but like, if I could do 10, then I, you know, growing how to riff. And like, I've noticed that like some of my best moments in comedy or doing comedy like bits or whatever is like off the top shit. Like I'm getting really good at like just riffing off the top, kind of like putting in the crowd or putting in a moment that happened before or after or whatever. Like
that's why I loved when I used to host my mic.
Yeah,
I loved it so much because, you know, I was getting to that point where it's like, you know, it was hard for me to write. Like I was having a real hard time writing new shit, and then, you know, the material that I had, I'd beaten to death everywhere, and I was just kind of tired of doing it.
Yeah.
But then that outlet of once a week, I was hosting my own mic, and I just didn't really do material when I hosted. Like I would go up there, I would riff, I'd, you know, bring the show up, maybe throw 1 or 2 like small jokes in there, start the mic, and then I would listen to everybody's set intently. And then when I would go up there, riff on something that they said. Yeah. And, you know, I would come up with something crazy, keep the crowd going, and then just move on.
Yeah. And like,
it was the best.
That's kind of like what makes it super fun for me. And like, I'm like, that's like an Andrew Schultz thing or Oshkosh Singh. Like they're like the best at crowd work. And I mean, I've seen Andrew Schultz do a special just crowd work.
Yep.
Same thing with Oshkosh Singh. He did like 15 minutes of just pure crowd work.
Yeah.
And
Big J Okerson, he's another one who's he's a murderer with crowd work.
Is that the big bald headed dude?
No. He's like a big fat, like kind of like punk rock looking guy. He always has like red hair or some shit, like big guy.
Yeah, it's just like I don't like structure. I like the ability to go in and out of something whenever I need to. That's kind of like so there's this comic that I've been kind of checking out lately in his podcast. It's Rick Glassman.
Okay, yeah.
I really like his podcast a lot, because he puts a lot of effort in, and like, and then on top of that, I was listening to his comedy. I'm like, oh, he's like talking like an actual conversation.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that he does, I'm like, dude, that is super cool. Like, I know he probably writes it down or whatever, but it seems like it's off the top of his head.
Yeah.
And that's something like his style is like something I really like. So I really want to go see him live because I want to see what it's like. And that's one thing that I like to do is go and try to, you know, we get some great comics here, but I'm not paying $300, $200 to go see these fucking guys.
No.
I'll definitely see, you know, Griffin. I might go stop in and see Ty because Ty Rivera, he's got a
this weekend.
And Casper's doing
the
hosting and doing 15 minutes each, which is huge for him.
Dude, that's dope.
It's wild, dude. Like that's so huge. Like for him to do that.
Yeah.
And like Wise Guys is like kind of like his home. His comfortability there is like huge.
Yeah.
And he gets to do 15 minutes. It's like I really want to see him. I like to see the people that we all hang out with in the comedy ring.
And the guys that we've, you know, because like with me, I have like the couple comics who started around the same time I did.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have the guys like you, like Casper, like Evan, Mario, all these guys who started out, you know, after me. And then I have all the comics who started way before me, you know, like the Fitzy and, you know, all these other guys who are the bigger guys up here.
Yeah.
But I like seeing, you know, you guys like Evan and, you know, Casper and all these guys, when you guys start making these fucking moves, I'm like, it fucking gets me in that place.
Motivated.
So I'm motivated and I'm so happy to see it. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Like some of the
get after it.
Some of the people that probably motivated most was Casper. Like when I saw him the first 3 months to 4 months of comedy he did, I mean, the guy was on like 30 shows.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
It's because he hustles. He definitely hustles, really.
Yeah.
You know, but
he's got a hustler's mentality. I mean,
I'll tell you this. Like, I love Casper. You know, he's my boy. But I will tell you, I saw him do 30 minutes when I know he's not ready for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you could see it.
Yeah.
Like, he was, you know, he still had his energy, his charisma on stage, but you could tell that he was kind of pushing a little bit to try to make that time, and he was losing the crowd and all of that, and it was tough to watch because
30 minutes is tough, man.
Dude, I wouldn't sign up for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
there's no way I would like, I'm almost 3 years in at this point.
Yeah,
you know, I have 10 minutes, probably realistically 13 minutes
where you're super confident,
it's tight, it's worked out. I have that 13 minutes.
Yeah,
if you tell me to do 15, I can bullshit for 2 minutes here and there and make the 15. Yeah, that's easy. Tell me to do 20 and I'll sweat. But I could probably make 20.
Yeah.
But I'm sweating. Anything more than 20, there's no fucking way I can do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I just know that.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think like the thing that, like, you know, he's like my homie, and like I fucking see him doing his shit, like it just motivates me. And like he made me want to hustle more.
Yeah.
I was like, because he always tells me, dude, you're fucking fun. You're one of the funnier dudes.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but you are. And I was like, okay. Like, because I know there's moments where I've seen myself have moments where I just take over a whole room.
Yeah.
And with just comics and just even with the crowd. And even if there's a crowd, I remember there was one time when I came back from Texas. Remember that time at Free Zone? There was one black lady at Free Zone.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking killed it for her.
Yeah.
And I crushed it. And I remember you in the back just like, that's my guy.
Yeah. Because like, here we go.
That's like, because I know, like, and that was, you gave me the same look at Ochatai on Thursday. That like a couple Thursdays ago about that gay bit that I did.
Yeah.
And it's almost like when I see you give me that smile or whatever, it's like, that's like this bit works. I just got to figure it out. I'm like, Antonio knows. Like, you know, like,
because
Antonio
I've
knows.
seen you from, you know, pretty much probably when you started. Like, I've seen you come up.
Trash.
And but we all do it, you know? And then it was that one time when you did mushrooms and killed. I was like, okay, this is a turning point.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think, like, he's got to figure this out, because it was this comfortability I saw in you. You were just like, fuck it, fuck the world. I'm on mushrooms, bitch.
Yeah.
And you just went at it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like shortly after that you left.
Yeah.
And then you came back, and then I left.
Yeah, and then like, you left.
And then like, so now coming back, and then I could see you, and I'm like, oh yeah,
there's something clicking.
You're figuring it out.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to, like, I'm going to be honest. I'm killing this podcast, right? We're killing it, right?
You're doing great.
We're doing pretty good.
No, this has been
Don't fucking let him lie to you.
We're at fucking 50 minutes. That shit flew by.
Because we're killing it.
We're killing it.
I know I'm a good talker. Like, I know I can entertain, right? Yeah. But so how can I bring this sort of entertainment on the stage,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've always been this way. Whenever I go to work, I was always the class clown. I always was like wild boy talking, because I had to, dude. Like I had to. That's how I defended myself back in white fucking Milford, New Hampshire, dude. Like I grew up at the trail park. A lot of people would think the trail park's where the racism happened, and no, those were my homies.
Yeah,
and it was the fucking rich white kids. And I'm like, how would I defend myself? I had to say some off the top shit. Right, always.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of how I am.
Yeah.
And when
it's wild. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
A lot of comics, they talk about having that background where it's like, you know,
I
didn't fit in anywhere, so I was just a class clown. I just tried to make everybody laugh and this and that. I'm the exact opposite. I didn't fit in anywhere. I got my ass beat constantly.
Yeah.
And I kept to myself. You know, I had my small group of friends, but we weren't, because we were stoners, you know, I was on fucking pills and shit. Like, I was just quiet throughout all of high school. And then, but I always loved comedy. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting into the, like, service industry and like kind of breaking out of my shell in that way. Yeah. But then when I did comedy for the first time, it changed my entire personality. Yeah. Like, I really broke out. And then now it's like, I mean, you see me when we're all hanging out. It's like, it's on par with all the other comics. Like, we're all talking.
Like, one of the funniest guys to hang out with is Mark Ash Johnson. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But can he if once he learns how to put that on stage, he's going to be a killer. It's only a matter of time for him.
Yeah. And he's starting to figuring it out.
Yeah, he needs to stay motivated.
I saw him do 5 minutes at 18 bin. Yeah. Fucking murder it. Yeah. Murdered so hard. It was amazing because he started off with some crowd work, very comfortable, and then just went into his bits and then fucking closed it hard. It was beautiful.
And that's kind of like where, like, I kind of get where he's at, because I'm like, he's me basically. Yeah. Like, sort of, you know, but like just getting that comfortability and like going through all those things I went through in life. And like when I was going to work, I just would always say the craziest shit to girls. I remember one time I picked up a girl and I was like, hey, what did I say to this bitch? Hold on. She was Miss Virginia. Oh, way out of my league. Yeah. I've got some very pretty girls. I act like I am the Bobby Lee, the Middle Eastern version. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. All right, I am
definitely a lot better looking than he is.
Dude, you fucking hear that, ladies? Right, Daddy's packing. No heat. All right, no
4 inches.
No 5. It's 5, bitches. Hold on a second, bitches.
Let's keep going down.
But no, but like basically, I remember I was like, "Hey, girl, look, I'm the lion and you're the zebra, and I just attacked you." That's right.
Oh, I got
now let me get that number. And she gave me her number, and I ate that pussy. I was dealing the World Series of Poker, and I was eating that pussy out like 3 to 4 times a week.
They gave me douche chills.
Yeah, she was Indian too, so I was like, you know. Yeah. Curry. No, that's fucking hacky, dude. Yeah. That's one of the ways that I try to avoid hacky, because I try not to talk about too much terrorist stuff. I'm trying. It's hard because it does get laughs, and I am just trying to figure out how to be funny. But one of the ways I get around that is just talking about life experiences, because you can't really be that hacky with life experiences.
Yeah. That's what I've always done.
A hacky premise, like you know, somebody breaking up with you, but like the wordage might not be hacky. But yeah, like,
and I've always been kind of mindful of stealing material and having my material stolen. So if I tell just life experience, nobody can steal that. Yeah. And if they do, it's not going to come with the same heart that I'm telling it, and it's going to be obvious that they took it from me.
It's just crazy. It's crazy that you're talking about that right now, because I watched Andrew Schultz special. His Michael Jackson bit, hilarious. While I was coming here, because I wanted to be in a funny mood, I like to watch a special. So I was just watching Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. Oh yeah, and that came out 3 years ago, 2 years ago maybe, I don't even know. And he has a Michael Jackson bit, and honestly, they're extremely similar. Really, very similar. They're basically the same. Damn. If you really broke it down, it's almost the same. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's stealing it, but because I think
so parallel.
Andrew Schultz has been doing that Michael Jackson bit for like 8 fucking years, because he has, because he's talking about stuff that, like, he's talking about Michael Jordan, he's talking about this, he's talking about that. So that stuff like that you can start. You probably
old relevant shit.
Exactly.
You know?
So I'm like, that's when I started realizing, like, you know, people are gonna cross paths on their bits, but like, how are you gonna steal it? Like, if you're doing things like talking about a Casey Anthony, OJ Simpson, this and that, like, you're obviously gonna sound similar to other people, most likely. That's what I started realizing.
And it's just it's a matter, like, I had somebody talked to a comedian friend of mine, and they heard me do my bit about, being Mexican.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not a fan. All I got out of it was bad credit, alcoholism, whatever. Now, those two setups, the bad credit and the alcoholism, is filler for that bit that I'm getting into.
Yeah.
But this comic went up to one of my buddies and said, "Oh shit, like I heard Antonio saying, bad credit and alcoholism." He goes, "I think he's stealing my joke about when I was in the Air Force or whatever."
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the comedian friend of mine goes, "Dude, you've only been doing comedy 6 months. He's been doing that bit for like 2 years.
Yeah.
There's no way he took it from you."
Yeah.
And also, that's not the bit. Like the bad credit and the alcohol, that's not
Those
the
are just
bit.
words.
Yeah, like I said, it's filler. So that I
Right.
can get to the whole like, my dad going, "My English not so good,"
Yeah.
and the relatives who don't speak English. Like,
Right.
that's the filler to get to that. Like, I just needed something to say to get to that.
Right. Yeah.
And
Dude.
it's like coming at me, and I'm like, okay, first, like, that's such a hack thing. I know that. Those fillers, like, bad credit. Everybody talks about having bad credit if you're not white. And then alcoholism. Half of the comics are alcoholics. Like,
Right,
it means nothing.
Right. I'm starting to become an alcoholic. Bro, I've been getting a beer like every night. I barely. I tell her like
one beer every night.
Yeah, dude. It's like crazy, dog. I'm out here, man.
I heard somebody tell a story about Tanner Tuttle, and he got fucked up at Noreen's.
Oh, really?
And drank a beer out of some dude's fake leg. Like the
No, it wasn't Tanner Tunnel. It was that fucking Tanner the Cowboy,
Tanner the Cowboy,
the dirt biker.
I'm not sure who that is.
So
I heard Tanner. I thought
so
they
it's
said
literally
Tanner Tuttle.
so Casper. There's Casper who looks just like this kid. I swear to God, it's like he's the cowboy version of Casper. Casper is like the Eminem version of him. I swear to God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the fucking.
Yeah.
He has a hat on always.
Yeah.
I think maybe Tuttle did too.
No, I think somebody just said Tanner, and the only
Oh,
comic
you
I
thought
know
Tanner
Tanner is
Love
Tuttle.
that guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's great.
He was one of the. I remember, fucking Tanner. I remember when I came back from like traveling around America. I took like a road trip just to hit up different comedy places around America,
Which is a great fucking thing to do.
That was fire.
I think that's why you came back, and you that something changed.
Yeah,
because that road experience really helped somebody.
Yeah, man.
Like I even just going to Texas, doing the spots that I did out there, seeing the comics,
like, and that's
like
why
the regular open micers out there.
Yeah,
and it's like it changed me a little bit in how I'm approaching comedy now.
Like every 2 to 3 months, like I'm going to be going to San Diego, LA, and hitting them up. Maybe I'll go to Phoenix, Salt Lake City, something like that. We'll see. But like I remember when I came back, Tanner's like, "Man, dude, I love how you hustling, dude. I would love for you to like do a show, like a spot for me on my birthday for like a show." And I was like, "Dude, dope." And then I was doing at Star Lounge. I was doing my bit, it's a trailer park bit, kind of newer, and I would ask for a question, but nobody was there. So Tanner's like, "Give me your craziest sex story experience." I was like, "Oh shit!" And that's the bit that I talk about how I had my mom's a threader, and like I had this girl come over to trailer park and come all that shit. Yeah, so like
that is one of the things about these fun day mics. Because I don't do a whole lot of material at the fun day mics. I usually go up there. I'm last. I'm last on the list usually because I get there late. And then I'm already pretty lubed up at that point, like drinking and stuff. So I just go up there and maybe I'll do one bit that I've been working on recently, and then I'll just get questions. Because I have had bits develop from a question that was asked.
Yeah.
And because I had a funny response, I was like, oh shit, make note of that.
Yeah.
And then you just develop a bit around it. It's
dude.
Yeah.
I just like, and I mean, I thought it was kind of weird to do the questions, and then when that happened, I was like, oh, it makes sense now.
Yeah.
And you do bring up, you do get a better material, and then like there was so Monday we cut down the mic to 3 minutes at Free Zone, right? So I was like, okay, fuck, and I had this like bit that I need 5 minutes probably because I need to put all the words out and figure it out, but I did it in like 3.
Nice.
So after Ian was like, "Oh, dude, you really articulated your words somehow. I don't like sometimes you don't do that." I was like, "I didn't know that. Why didn't you fucking tell me this before, dude?
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, man. Try to help brother out, dude. Like, what are we doing?"
I do notice that. You are one of them, I think. But Mario is another one, and a couple other people that I can tell sometimes it's hard to hear and understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you like kind of like
race through or something.
Race through it, kind of like not stumble, but like run over certain words.
Yeah.
You know, like with either how quickly you're talking or whatever, and
just
it's
nervousness.
Like,
whatever it is,
and it like gets muddied up in what you're saying, so you don't really hear what you're saying. Like I've laughed at a bit because I've heard the bit before, but the audience didn't laugh because I could tell they didn't really hear what you said.
Yeah.
And not you in particular, but
no, of course.
You know, the people that I'm thinking of.
Dude, you could trash me all day, bro.
I will, dude.
If I can handle it, dude. I'm so good at handling shit.
You got a whole 5-inch cock. Like, I got to break you down.
But it has a happy trail, so there's more to my penis than normal. And I line that shit up with a straight edge.
It's an optical illusion.
Yeah.
It makes it look a lot bigger than it really is.
Dude, do you know how many lower ab workouts I've been doing? And like I haven't ate in a week. Like
trying to get that deep cock roots.
So like girls don't know this, but it like let's tell these hoes how penises work and where the fat builds. So the fat builds right above, for me at least, right above the dick.
Yeah, it's right? the fupa.
Yeah, and we have our own fupas. Yeah. But if you take that down, you get it like if it goes down, you're talking about a half an inch of gaining looks at least, and then plus with skinny legs. I mean, I'm killing, dude. Yeah. 150 all cock.
See, I've never been a real heavy guy, you know, so I never got the fucking fupa area growing. But like right now, like I told you, my pubes are out of control. And so I'm losing like 3 inches of dick with this pubic hair.
You look like a guy would have pubes be straight on, I thought, but like I guess not.
They're ridiculous.
You comics, man.
Yeah.
Throwing me off, dude.
You can never predict what I'm doing, bitch. Never let them know my next cock move.
Have you ever messed with a hairy, wild pubic girl? Yeah. I mean, we don't care, right? As long as it's going in. I'm not trying to eat that puss.
But... I have what I prefer, but I mean,
what's
like,
that? What's that?
You know, trimmed up.
Okay.
5 o'clock shadow is nice. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, if it is fucking 70s Earth Mama muff and shit, I'll still go for it. I don't give a fuck.
Like I honestly, like when I first go on a date with a girl, I'm like, show me your hair. Like I want to pull it down real quick. Is that?
It's like Patrice O'Neal always had this great thing. He goes, I hate when people say, you know, do you think this woman's attractive?
Right.
And you say no. And they go, but would you fuck her? And he goes, that's not the same question.
Yeah, dude, it's not.
It's like I have fucked monsters.
Yeah, I love
in my past.
Yeah, dude, fucking dude, tell me about it.
It's like, yeah, in the moment I didn't find her attractive, but she's gonna sleep with me, so here we go.
We're fucking. It's wild, dude. It's tough, man. Being a single guy, man, like it's hard. You know, it's tough out there. But I love Patrice. I like a lot. I do watch a lot of. I've watched not like his specials. I've obviously seen them, but like. Some of the things that he talks about comedy-wise, like having like, he's like, I don't care, like as long as I get 50% of the audience to like me, 50% to hate me.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. Is like, you never want 100% of the people laughing 100% of the time. You want 50 of them, 50% laughing and 50% fucking horrified.
Yeah.
And I love that because a lot of bits that I do get a groan.
Right.
And it's probably same with you. Like they'll either just like, oh, like I get a lot of groans, but that is as rewarding as laughter. Because I made you feel something.
Right. And like emotions. And like, I think that's why like I connected to you pretty, like I've noticed that like I connect really good with people who do material sort of like my way.
Yeah.
Like where it's like more edgy or more wild boy shit, you know, like where it's like Josh Lindauer does a lot of, like he's so interesting with his stuff.
Yeah.
And like the way that he does it, he's very crafty with his material. And I've learned a lot from him. I learn a lot from all you guys. Like I watch everybody. Like I mean, just energy wise, like who, like, you know, I've seen, you know, comics like Casper has the most energy, and then I've seen comics with like low energy, kind of like an Evan Conley, right? Pretty low energy usually.
Yeah.
And it's like he's almost like trying to be like not trying, but he's doing like those lines, like almost like a Norman, right? Yeah. So it's like
Mitch
know,
Hedberg style.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And it's really cool.
Yeah,
like
because he's good at it.
Yeah, he's getting really good.
Because I met Evan when he was like a month or two into comedy.
Yeah, I remember.
He came out to the Lucky Club, and that I was hosting my mic. And so I went up to him, just shook his hand. Hey, you know, I'm fucking hosting this thing or whatever. And then he gets up there, and I can tell how nervous he is to be up there. but his writing was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he gets off stage and I'm like, you where have you been?
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it, like how am I just now hearing about you?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
some people like I remember when he first started, like, oh, he has no chance. I'm like, hold on a second.
No, the writing was amazing from day one that I saw him. You know,
and it's
he can write a fucking joke.
Yeah, you just like, you know, with comedy, it's always like, you know, it's a battle of attrition, really, when it comes down to like how long can you last? Because when you last that long, like you're gonna build stuff no matter what. Yeah. Like unless you're just don't give a fuck and you're just doing it as a hobby. Yeah. Which I guess technically we are, right? Like,
well, I'm full time now.
Yeah, you're full time, but like some of us don't. Fucking, I know that great.
Don't have a sugar mama.
Yeah.
But and also it's like you're just gonna see people fall off. Like I know a lot of people who started out about the same time I did that I just don't see around anymore.
It happens. Life, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like
gets in the way, and
we all think we're gonna do comedy, but like you just don't know what's gonna happen in your life where it might throw off comedy. Like you might have to move somewhere where they don't really have open mics. Yeah. Right. Like or something happens. Like you just don't know.
But there is always a way. That's why when you said it earlier, when you were like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this 3 years from now or whatever. Yeah. For me, I know I will be. Yeah. No matter how I have to do it, you know, if life gets in the way, like if I have to, you know, get another full-time job or, you know, whatever I have to do, I will make sure I'm always on stage. Yeah. Because I can't, at this point, like I can't function without it. Yeah. I've gone 2, maybe 3 weeks since I started total in a row without doing any comedy, and it gets to me. I get into weird places mentally.
Yeah, me too.
I start getting like fucking not like depressed, but I get weird mentally. Yeah. And then as soon as I get on stage again, it's like it all comes off again, and I'm like, okay, like this is what I need.
Well, things change when you have children. So I have a son, so like that's why I'm like I don't know what's gonna like you just don't know what could happen
for sure.
So many curveballs happen in life. Yeah. Where I don't want like I just don't. How I approach life is like there's never a set path. I never know exactly what's going to happen, so I never like to say yes. I know I'm going to be doing comedy for 10 years. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah. Like and I can't tell the future. That's why. Yeah. Like and I just like
you never know what's going to happen.
I just like to be realistic, man. Like that's just how I look at it. Because I thought I was going to do something like I thought I would be a certain place in my life 10 years ago, and I'm not. So that's why I kind of have that mindset. Yeah, you know, for sure. And just so many weird things have happened. Yeah, you know, and when you have a child, like you really have to figure out a way to make income, obviously, and you got to make money, and you got to figure things out, and then you might fall in love with a girl who's like, you think she's great, she's terrible, but like you know, you're with her for 10 years, and she's like, I don't want you to do comedy anymore after 10 years. It's like, fuck, dude.
Then kick rocks, bitch.
Yeah, it's like, but then you got a house, you got kids, and you got this, and you got that, and then she could half your shit, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that was that is one thing with my girlfriend is that she told me that she would always support comedy. She would always, you know, and she always has been. But there was this point, you know, kind of 6 months to a year in where it was like I was working full time and then doing stand up as much as I could. And so it was like during the day I'm working from like 5 a.m. until like 4 p.m. Yeah. And then right away I come home, I eat, and then I'm out. And then I'm out until fucking midnight, 1 o'clock, and then I'm up at 5 again. And it's like, so we really didn't see each other, and you know, unless she came out to the shows with me. And it was starting to get to that point where she was like, you know, I hate that you work all the time. I'm like, well, I gotta fucking work. And then she's like, I hate that you do stand up all the time. I'm like, well, I definitely have to do stand up. So like, we're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah. And then we were doing like 1 or 2 nights a week where I wouldn't do comedy, and it'd be like date night and you know stuff like that to try to just like make sure everything is still running smooth. Yeah. But there was that point where she was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I'm like, I gotta do comedy, so we're gonna have to work around comedy.
So that's kind of like the thing about like my son, like I get him 1 week on, 1 week off. Yeah. So when I have my son, like I get him back in the end of November where I go 1 week on, 1 week off. Like I can't really go do comedy on that week, like every single night when I have, like I can get a babysitter, and thank God I got my boy Mario knows all the fucking Spanish babysitters. I'm trying to G1 one of those up and get that shit for free. So like I'll try to at least do 2 or 3 nights a week. And like, you know, I got to really figure out what mics to hit up, and like, do I want to hit up Wise Guys? Yeah, obviously. But Is a 10-minute and a 7-minute mic more important to me than a 3-minute mic at Wise Guys? Yes.
Yeah.
I can get more out of those. I can just go those 2 nights on a Wednesday and a Thursday if they're still around, and get 17 minutes in of time, which is huge. That's like 3 days to 4 days of comedy time. So like that's kind of like where I'm at with that stuff, you know. And that's just shit you got to fucking figure out, man. Like eventually, like my son when he gets old enough, whatever. I'm pretty sure, like. From what I know now, I will stick with comedy for however fucking long I live because it's all I really got. Yeah. But like, eventually I'm gonna have to move to a place like a California. But I don't want to move there yet because I'm not funny yet. Right? Let me get funny first. Figure out how funny works.
And you think California is that move of if you're funny enough, that's the place to go?
Just because I'm trying to set myself up financially where I don't have to worry about making money for comedy, where I can just go on stage and just go on stage every single night.
Yeah.
The reason why I say California is like I'm guessing my son is still going to be in Nevada area, so at least I'm pretty close.
Oh, it's close.
And then when you're in LA or San Diego, like you got 2 comedy ports, then you got Las Vegas, then Phoenix and Arizona. Yeah. So I think that would be the easiest move for me to do, unless I got like let's say I got super good, and somehow I can get 3 to 5 spots a night in New York City. Yeah, then I'd go there for sure because New York City is like a place where you can actually you can make like $500 to $600 a night because there's so many spots.
I've always looked at New York better than California. Yeah, like New York is where I feel like real comics go to be real comics. Yeah. In California, I feel like you get a lot of people who want other things out of the entertainment industry.
Like podcasting, this and that.
Yeah, or even acting. Yeah. A lot of actors or people who want to do acting do stand-up as like a stepping stone, you know? But it's like in New York, it's like comics are doing comic shit out there. It's like that's where you're going to be a comedian.
Yeah, and if you set yourself up financially well, like you got something that makes money. Yeah. That's why, like, I want to go back to maybe, like, I was thinking about going back to dealing poker or going back and dealing blackjack during the day if I can find a job like that. Yeah. But what's going to happen if I do that job for 10 years? Right? And then I'm trying to, I'm going to have to move eventually for comedy. Right somewhere.
And then now your entire resume is dealing poker.
I'm basically stuck at that job. Yeah. So I need to figure out a way to make money almost passively. And that if that's gaining real estate, buying real estate or doing car rentals or whatever, where I can just put somebody in and be like, this is all this money goes into my account. Yeah. I'm going to New York for 3 months to work out comedy wise. You know what I mean? Or like I'm moving, like I can probably do rental cars in San Diego and LA, of course. And I'm moving out there, moving the whole business there. And then I can rent my cars out there today, do whatever, or drive Uber during the day, whatever the fuck I got to do. Yeah. And then I can basically, get on stage. Like if you somehow become a Comedy Store regular, which is a long stretch. I don't know if I've ever even seen anyone after 8 to 10 years to get on the Comedy Store and be a Comedy Store regular. Like it's very difficult. Yeah. But there's still a lot of comedy clubs out there, and you can still get on stage 2 to 3 times a night if you do it right. Yeah. And if you're good, man, like it's hard. Like I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there's people that excel fast. I think Jimmy's one. Right? He's excelled real fast. Yeah. And he's crushing. Yeah. And if he keeps going down that path, he's going to be one of those comics, like, whereas like a Shane Gillis has been only doing it for like 10 years, I guess, roughly. Yeah. Maybe 12 or something like that. And he has a special, and it's one of the best specials I've seen in a very long time, in my opinion. Nice. Like, I think his special is right up there with like, I don't know, like maybe I'm being biased, but like how I gauge a special is like, if I fucking laugh every single time, it's a good special. I literally laugh every single time. Yeah. So
a couple of questions I usually ask every guest, because these are some of my favorite things to ask is, what is one of your most memorable bombs? Because I love bombing stories. They're my fucking favorite. I'm sadistic in that way.
My most memorable bomb? So many. Fuck, dude. So many bombs. Dude.
Even if you have a couple, fucking hit me with a couple.
So I feel like I'm one of the comics that used to bomb at Wise Guys on a consistent basis. And I just remember like one time I killed with this bit, and then I go and do the bit again, and it was a fucking bomb.
Yeah.
And okay, no, the most memorable bombing I had at Wise Guys. Okay, so I was talking about the Tinder swindler guy, Jewish. The guy hosting was the captain. What's his name?
TC.
TC.
Yeah.
Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking bombed about, and I was like, yeah, fucking Jews, gotta kill them all, blah blah blah, whatever the fuck I was saying.
How did you think that was gonna go?
Not great, obviously. I should have listened to Antonio. So I fucking bombed, and when I'm getting off stage, he said something about like Jews and like, wow, you fucking hate the Jews, like some shit, just to stab me and more. I was like,
just to dig it in there a little more.
TC, why? I'm a young comic, give me a break. And I think you should give these young comics a break. Like you should, you know, you really need to get comfortable with the bombing and look. I try to look forward to them because that's, like I said, that's where I learned the most.
Yeah.
Another terrible bomb I've had was, I want to say, where was the show that I did in New York City, Brooklyn?
Oh, all right.
First of all, like, I killed it at the Comedy in Harlem. It was like the spot in Spanish Harlem or whatever. Killed it. And then some guy's like, "Oh, do 15 minutes." I'm like, I ain't got 15. He's like, "Figure it out." I was like, "All right,
Here we go."
So like, I just like went there, and then like the show like started, like it was supposed to start at 7. Nobody showed up till 9. I was hollering people at the barking people in Brooklyn, like, and like all of a sudden like it's a bunch of white bitches there. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, white bitches? Y'all want to come do some comedy?"
Come see how
I got hustled for a shirt right next to the place. It's fucking I swear I bought this shirt, real love. Pretty sure. Maybe not. I don't remember. But so we go in there and got like 6 people. They're charging people $20. Wild.
Yeah.
I got no money.
Of course.
I think I got paid once in comedy so far, and I
Really?
gave the money away. I just said, take it. Fucking, what am I gonna do with $10? Just fucking here.
Yeah.
So
I've gotten paid a decent amount to do comedy so far. But my alcoholism usually fucks it. Yeah. Because there have been times where it's like, you know, waiting for the show, I'm drinking. After the show, I'm drinking. I get paid, let's say, probably the most has been $50. Yeah. Got my $50, you know, closed my tab, and it was like $55. So I was like, all right, so now I'm $5 in the hole.
Yeah. So like, basically like I was doing my bit, and then like this drunk black dude just like kept on coming towards me in the stage. Oh shit. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of this guy. Yeah. And I just kept on saying it. I was like, I will choke you out right now. Like I have no problem doing it. Yeah. It's African crime, and I don't really give a fuck right now, dude. So after that, like that was a bad bombing too, because like I just didn't know what to do, and the guy was like telling me to do this, do that. I'm like, I fucking don't know, dude. Like it was weird. Yeah. But yeah, bomb there. It sucks, man. Bombing blows, dude. But you just gotta push forward.
It's funny. I'm the type of person that because I have low self-esteem, I can't feel good about myself for too long. Right. And so if I'm at like, you know, let's say on a Monday, you know, and I go to one of these many mics that are on a Monday. Yeah. Go to these, and let's say it's like Free Zone, and I do well at Free Zone, then I go to Dive Bar. Yeah. Because I have to bomb before I go home. Yeah. But if I bomb at Free Zone, then I can just go home.
Dude, I had a Free Zone set that I did really good on at Halloween. It was the gay bit. Yeah. And I crushed. And then I went to Dive Bar after, and I got into with a heckler for about 15 to 20 minutes, and he was Asian, and it was the most, and he was becoming like racist. He was saying like sand and stuff. I was like, word? You know what? These Asians, I'm going to start hating on y'all bitches. Like, you know, so I started going crazy, and we was just back and forth, and it was cool because like, you can't do that with a white guy because they'll freeze up. Yeah. But with an Asian, he'll say some racist stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll say this, and then he was like, I'll say this, and I was like, it was like one-upping each other. I was like, yo, this is fire, dude. Like, racism, baby.
Dude,
like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like it's like I really don't care like what people say to me. Yeah. That's like one thing that probably makes me, I feel like, pretty loose with what I talk about on stage. Is like, I don't care if you say anything racial to me. I've heard it all before. I don't give a shit. I don't let words affect me ever. Yeah. Like I don't care if you talk shit about me. I don't care. Yeah. Like do like, we're human beings. We all talk crazy. Like it happens. Dude. Yeah.
So like what I hate is that because I am so white looking, but I grew up, more Mexican than fucking most Mexicans I meet.
Right.
And I had this bit that I was working on for a little bit about, like, you've always heard about the N-word pass.
Right.
Black dude could give you the N-word pass or whatever. So I had this whole premise of, like, what if we traded racial slurs like baseball cards?
Right.
So it's like, I can get an N-word pass, but like with me, you can get a white privilege and a spick card. It's like you could say spick, but then you could also pull out the white privilege card. It's like it's very rare or whatever. I'm trying to fucking work this bit out. But because I look so white, when I said spick, Ian, who always has his fucking mic on him at these shows, he goes, ooh. And then the whole crowd got weird because I said spick. And I'm like, do you understand? Like, I have been called spick in my life. I am Mexican. I've grown up in that world. It's like, if anything, if anybody, I should be able to, spout off if I want to.
Dude, I totally feel, because I have that one sand N-word bit, and like I don't say the N-word yet, and the bit is all right. No, it's not that great, but I know it can get there if I just figure it out. And I say it correctly, but like I kind of pull it out and put it on the shelf to figure it out later on. And I still am not comfortable with saying the sand N-word, and if I'm not comfortable with saying it, then the bit doesn't really work. Right, like I have made it work a little bit because I try to make a crowd member say it or something like that. But it's just like sometimes like I'm not confident in that stuff, so just put it away. Pick it up later.
So great. I was with Delilah in Utah. We went out there for Stephen Kelly's mic. He actually booked us both on there, and so we went out there. I kind of opened up the show, whatever. I did great. It's still to this day one of the best recordings I have. Because the Utah crowd was fucking amazing. Delilah goes up there. She has this bit, and I don't know it verbatim, but it's something along the lines of she's saying, that she's giving, like the N-word means something to her. Like it's not, it's some kind of fucking like, how you doing? Or, some kind of greeting. And so she goes, so you guys can all say it. Come on 3. Everybody say it. She goes, 1, 2, 3. I've seen her do this bit before where she goes 1, 2, 3, and then audience doesn't say anything. She laughs, and the audience laughs. In Utah, there was like half of the fucking crowd, all white, just yelled it out. And I was like, oh my God. And it even took her by surprise. She was like, oh my God. Like, what the fuck, Utah? It was fucking amazing.
Let's bring it back. You know what I mean?
It was the best because the crowd just fucking, and they just yelled it. And I saw her get so she didn't know how to do it because she told them to say it, so she couldn't get mad. And it was this weird, like she had to reset herself because she was not expecting it.
Dude, like, so like when I drive Uber, like people ask me like what I do like out here, and I'm like, oh, I do comedy. Like, oh, it must be so hard to do comedy right now. And I'm like, no, dude, it's the best time. I say anything I want. Plus, I'm not famous. And do you want to hear this shitty bit? Have you ever? You know what? You know what? The best bomb I've had in my in my comedy career is in my fucking car, in my Uber, and because I gotta sit. Like I remember I told this one joke to this girl, and she was like, "That's your son, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "So you just make fun of your son, and you're racist at the same time?" And I'm like. Oof. And I was like, how much time? 10 minutes till your spot? Oh, great. Lord. And it was just quiet. And then, like, I put the music on, but, like, I have a Tesla, so sometimes services doesn't work. Like, and that just wasn't working that day, of course. And I'm just sitting in a quiet car because the quietest cars in the world are Teslas. And we're just driving through just fucking.
Don't hear the engine. Don't hear the road. It's just.
Bro, that was probably my worst.
That's fucking amazing.
And then I had, like, some Asian jokes, and, like, one girl's like, oh, I can handle Asian jokes. And I did it, and she was like, people were getting beat up during COVID, and I'm like, bitch, you told me to say the joke.
Right, bitch, you said it was all right.
She was so hot too.
Oh man, I love Asian women.
Anyway. It's tough. It's tough to pull girls as an Uber driver, but sometimes it works. I haven't banged one in like 2 or 3 years, but I am ready. You know what I mean?
All I can think about is like, oh, that whiskey's good.
It's not bad.
It's pretty good.
I fucking hate your state, but
it's a local like it's a Texas distillery that is based out of Waco, where I lived, kind of grew up there. And my old roommate, his parents still live in that city in Texas.
Right.
And so they came out to visit us when I used to live with him.
Yeah.
just brought bottles of this shit.
Right.
Just Texas bourbon, dude. It's good for like a local distillery.
So much PTSD when you say that word.
But all I can think about with just being stuck in that Uber after bombing is like being on stage, bombing, and then going, "Hey, everybody, get on the bus. I'll take you home." Dude, and you have to drive everybody in the audience home.
Brutal.
That's why these comics who do the tour bus shit, I commend them.
Yeah.
Because they're on that tour bus for 4 hours and they have to make everything funny.
Oh, it's 8 hours. 4 hours there, 4 hours back, right?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Just imagine that, being stuck with your audience for 8 hours after bombing.
I could do it if Johnny Brim's there, because he's kind of like a like an improv guy, you know. So he probably improvs pretty good. But like, you know, Parker Ty, I'd be like, oh, dude, fucking another Jesus joke. No, I'm just fucking. I love Parker.
How Irish Catholic are you?
Yeah, I love Parker. He's been really gaining some steam. I've seen like his jokes are really good, man. I learned, it's crazy because like he's so much younger than me.
Yeah.
But I learned so much from them.
Yeah. It's
crazy, dude. Like I learned it's such like man, it's just such a humbling experience, comedy. Also, like with comedy has given me so much confidence that like I do approach women now. Yeah. Because I don't care about failing, because I fail on stage with like, I failed on Wise Guys once, one of the biggest nights we had, 130 people. Yeah. I failed. Mm-hmm. And I bombed hard.
It's easy to fail with one person, like a woman, because you have to deal with failing with a room full of people.
And dude, you know how you were saying that you went to dive bar to bomb?
Yeah.
Right? What I do, if I kill, the next day, if I go to the gym, I find the prettiest girl at the gym and I go up to her and try to get her number.
Mm-hmm. Just to get rejected.
Just to get rejected.
Yeah.
Because I need that failure to humble myself.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, like earlier in this podcast, I was saying, like, I don't know if I'm going to be in this shit for 10 years, but there's things that happen to me within comedy where I'm like, I'm going to fucking be in this bitch forever.
Yeah.
I know I will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because of like little things that I see. Like, you know, I'm not ready for shows, and I'll be honest, I'm not ready for more than 3 to 5 minutes for shows. Yeah. But like, I never really get booked for anything other than like Melvin loves me, which is great.
That's good.
It's gonna come together eventually for me. But like, I don't get free anything, free this or free that. And like I was saying earlier, like one day they're gonna beg me to take free shit from them. Yeah. One fucking day.
So after, because what did you say? You've been in comedy like about a year now?
10 months.
10 months.
Almost 11.
All right. So in these 10 months. If somebody came up to you realistically and said 10 minutes on a booked show with all these other killers, can you do that?
Absolutely not.
And you'll tell them that?
100%.
How much realistic? You think just about 5, maybe 7?
Like killer shit? Like where I'm like
shit that you can bring in front of a audience and it's going to work.
That's the thing. I don't know if it's going to work.
Mm.
I have 5 minutes that I can do.
Mm.
And it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to work.
Gotcha.
Right? And like, I just don't know where it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I don't like comedy. Like, you know, I've seen like going to a place where nobody knows you and trying to kill it is so difficult. If I'm in the right mindset and like when I was in La Jolla and I did a comedy store, crushed it. Right? Absolutely crushed it. People were coming up to me and asking me how long you've been doing comedy. And I was like, 10 months. Like, I thought you've been doing it for like 10 to 12 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, dude.
It's good.
And they're feeling. Like, you know, and it was great. And it feels good.
Yeah.
And that's because I incorporated the crowd and this and that. If I can incorporate the crowd, which is a buffer for comics, like you can really get, because you can get them to like you if you do it right. But if you fuck up on the crowd work, you're done.
Yeah.
Like you're done. Unless they know you.
Yeah.
You're done. So I can do 5. I'm not, because I've done 5. I've done my 5. You've probably done 10 minutes and destroyed, right? And then you've done 10 minutes and absolutely bombed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, and that's going to happen no matter what, even if you're the best comic in the world.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, like, I am just trying to figure out how to have a killer 5-minute set. Now, I have about 6 5-minute sets, technically 30 minutes. I don't know what's going to happen to these sets, right? But these are sets that I've done on stage.
Yeah.
You know, I have about 5 or 6 of them, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, do I have 30? I guess. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's going to be a disaster for everybody.
Yeah.
right? But 3 to 5 minutes is something that I just want to. It's not that I'm not confident in myself. It's just that I'm trying to be realistic.
Yeah.
And
you have to be.
And I maybe it's this strive of me trying to be a perfectionist. Is that like, would I be comfortable enough to open up for like a Dave Chappelle for 3 to 5 minutes? No.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't look at it like that, but I don't. But I want to. But if I have 5 minutes, I want a killer 5, dude.
Yeah.
Like I want a killer 5.
Yeah.
And if you think of long term, right? If you figure out how to do a killer 5, well, then you can figure out how to do a killer 7.
Yeah.
Then you can figure out how to do a killer 10.
Yeah. That's how it progresses.
Right. And then you progress and you progress. And then over 10 years, you have an hour.
Yeah.
Right. And like if you figure out how to do that, boom, then you drop your hour. And then what?
And
you
then
know?
Start all over.
Yeah. But like, that's the thing is like, I'm not dropping shit until I have a, some sort of social media, like if I ever got that deep.
Yeah.
Like I've seen comics dropping specials and they don't have a presence and they're trying to figure out why they're not getting views. Well, you don't have,
Also, it blows my mind that I know a lot of comics who they upload their sets to YouTube all the time, and they do have a little bit of a presence, and so people see these sets. I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, or why are you doing that? Because I can't imagine the 10 minutes that I have, that I've been working on for a long time and really hammering it home. I could never imagine taking that 10 minutes and uploading it, because what if people who are going to be at one of my shows, what if they see it?
Right.
And then now I'm doing that same fucking 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what? It's like they know every punchline.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck is that?
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I don't care what other people do. But one of the things that I have realized when I was just kind of like getting in the street, you know Stravos, the comedian, fat guy, Greek looking dude?
Sounds familiar.
Super hilarious. 1 hour. You should check it out. He had his hour ready like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. But he's like, I don't really have a presence. Right. Yeah. So he was like, why would I drop my hour if I only have like 30,000 subscribers? So what he did was he focused on his media, his social media, and he grew his YouTube to like 250,000 subscribers.
Okay.
Then he dropped his special. Now he's got like 3 to 5 million views. Like, nice. Brandon Schaub, right? People say his special sucks, whatever. Still has 5 million views.
For sure. I mean, yeah.
So people are coming to see the artist, not the art, at that point.
Which, okay, and I got mixed feelings about that, because I've never really liked Brendan Schaub.
Yeah,
I like him as a podcaster.
Love him as a podcaster.
I think he's an interesting guy. Former football player, MMA fighter, and now he's a comic. Loosely, but I think he's a decently interesting guy. So I would like to hear him talk. On podcasts. But I've seen both of his specials. He's only 5 years into comedy, something like that.
5 to 8 or something.
Both those fucking specials are, in my opinion, trash.
Yeah.
Because, especially this most recent one, because I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, so I watched it full through without hearing anything that anybody had to say about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it didn't influence how I looked at it. And my takeaway was he's a glorified open micer. Because all the bits in there are the types of bits you hear from open micers, just maybe worded in slightly different ways or whatever, but it's very, lack of a better term, hack.
Okay.
And you can tell.
Okay.
And that's what does, as a comedian, as somebody who I fucking, this art form is sacred to me.
Right.
Having somebody be so glorified like him does ruin it for me, because I'm like, dude, he has way more time that he should be putting into this.
Yeah.
And he needs to get a lot better than he actually is before releasing 2 specials already, because they're both, mediocre at the very best,
Yeah,
but
you can learn from them, right? So we can learn like how he built himself to where he's at. Yes, he had a platform already. Yes, he's friends with Joe Rogan.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it helps. Right?
I mean, it's who you know.
But one thing you do got to know about Brandon Schaub is that he would go up after when he goes on tour, he brings David Lucas on tour.
Yeah.
Right? And he goes up after.
Follow a killer.
Right? Now, David Lucas murders.
Oh yeah.
Murders. Yeah. I've saw him live. I saw him and Tony Hinchcliffe live at Wise Guys, and I was right there in the front row. He murders.
Yeah.
And for you to be the headliner, and before you know the guy's better than you.
Yeah.
To go up after him, I got respect for you. That's because that's
all right. In that aspect,
right?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
So that means that he does want to get better, in my opinion. He obviously is trying, and I see him on stage a lot. Like he's definitely working, and he's definitely trying to get good. He probably knows that like his shit is. Yes, he's gotten a jump start. Yes, he did, and he knows that, and he admits it. Yeah, he even says it to open like people.
Yeah,
but he also understands that, and he does help people out. He gave a guy. So a guy drove 3 hours to go see him. He was sitting in the front row. They do whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a comic." Like he was doing crowd work on him or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "This." He's like, "Wait, you drove 3 hours to see me?" And he was like, "All right, do you have like time?" And like they talked after the show, and he's like, "Yeah, I got like 5 minutes. That's it." And the guy, he got him a hotel or whatever to stay an extra night. He went in and crushed it for 5 minutes.
Nice.
And now, like, you know, the dude's like opening for him or whatever. Like, he gives people a lot of opportunities. But a lot of those guys,
and I could definitely respect that.
Right?
I definitely respect
so like
that.
There's like maybe his comedies, whatever. I don't. You know, I just watched Esther's comedy special. She just dropped it.
Esther
Plazinski.
Oh, okay.
She's on that Trash Tuesdays. I just watched it. It's whatever. Like, you know.
I mean, female comedians. Me.
No, it's not that. It's just like, no. Like, I don't know if I'll ever, like, I'll be honest. I don't know if I'll ever get to Brandon Schaub's level. I don't know if I'll ever get to her level.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But, like, I'm used to seeing, like, a Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right? Or, like, a Shane Gillis who just fucking slices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, Cat Williams or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, those are the specials that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Right? And you as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we're seeing these
Monsters.
other ones come in, and it's like an almost oversaturated market. When you get an oversaturated market, you don't get the best material. Right? That's just how it works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, same thing with comedy. Like, with open micers. We have we get what?
Austin was that way.
I hate that place.
So many fucking comics on a okay.
I hope that place burns.
So all right.
Oh, we have to talk about this place?
Right.
You're gonna give me PTSD, dude.
Let's talk about Texas, because I was just there. You know.
Right. Can we just say Texas?
No, we'll talk about Texas in general.
Okay, cool. But, don't say the A word, please, dude. I'm gonna fucking go home and slice my wrist.
Hey, you made it out, bro.
It's fucking so sad, dude.
But that was the thing I didn't realize, because technically this last month, this was the second time doing comedy in Texas. Technically, first time was a year prior. It was a year ago, because I go back to Texas every year to see my family. So a year ago, when I'm maybe a year and a half, 2 years in, barely, you know, I go out there, but I didn't really hit many mics. I maybe hit like 2 or 3 while I was out there, and you know, they all went the same, is there were so many people on the list.
Right.
I got bumped to the front of the list in one of the mics because I told the guy I was from Vegas, and so he was like, "Dope."
I know exactly what mic that is too, probably.
Maybe not.
Maybe okay.
Because I don't even remember the name of the bar.
Tiniest bar?
No.
I know you performed there.
I did perform there twice.
I hate that place. I hope that place dies.
Dude, it was a good spot.
I like that place. But I hope the whole fucking city dies.
I'll say this, with the tiniest bar, Courtney, he's fucking amazing.
That's my boy.
He's fucking amazing.
I love that guy.
But
other than him, I hope everyone dies there.
The room sucked.
Yeah.
So the first time I'm in Texas, I do this open mic. He puts me to the front of the list. I was like 5 out of like 50. So he puts me up because I'm from Vegas. You know, he puts me up, and I go up there. Same kind of like, here we go. You know, I'm nervous. There were 50 comics in the back of the room.
Yeah.
Talking.
Terrible.
So loud that I could barely hear myself coming out of the speakers.
Yeah.
So I just went up there and ate my dick for 5 minutes. But I noticed that there was like a couple at the bar that were watching me. And so I was playing to them, you know, the whole time. I didn't even acknowledge the crowd. I didn't even look in their direction. I just, right here, I was like, it's me and you two. And so I just played to them. They laughed, whatever, I get off. And then the other mics, last year were the same way, you know, bunch of comics, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
This next time, you know, in October when I went out there, it was a lot different because I had researched all these places I've wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And then I hit up Brandon Dolly.
Okay.
Brandon Dolly's my boy. He was just on the podcast. I hit him up, and he goes, go here, go here. He goes, and then I'm going to get you a spot on the secret group in Houston. He goes, just tell the dude you know me, tell him you're a Vegas comic, and he'll put you up.
That's where I want to go. I want to go to Houston and do comedy.
The secret group was legit. Fucking dope. Because they have their main stage where it's like they have the big guys come through, because it's a comedy club. They have their main stage where the big guys come through and they pack that shit out. When I was there, they had a band playing. So they put us into the separate room that they call the box.
Okay.
And it's a smaller room, maybe 30 chairs set in front of the stage, you know? They packed that shit out, though. There were people standing in the back.
Okay.
And went up there, fucking crushed.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Right.
And then I'm hanging out with all these guys in Houston, and everybody's like, dude, what fucking... When I come to Vegas, I'll hit you up. And whenever you're back in town, you hit me up. And networking like a motherfucker.
Right.
And then when I was in Austin, I went to the tiniest bar. I went there for the open mic, right?
Yeah.
I bring my two brothers,
right,
a family friend of mine, and then my girl. So we're all sitting there and we're suffering through this open mic.
Brutal. I've been there so many times.
I was 20th on the list.
Right.
So we sit through 19 motherfuckers doing very similar material. The best I can describe it is that they didn't realize that they only had 4 or 5 minutes. And so they're trying to tell these long stories that don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And that was the majority of them. And so at one point, the people that I brought look over at me and they go, when the fuck does this get funny?
Yeah.
And I just start laughing. I was like, you guys have to have more respect for me because this is what I do daily.
Yeah.
You know, I make myself suffer through open mics daily just so I can get 5 minutes.
Right.
And then I kept telling him, just wait. I'm going to get up there because this is the first time my family has seen me do stand-up, like my brothers.
Right.
So I was like, just wait until I get up there, man. Yeah. And I hadn't met Courtney at that point.
That's my boy.
So I went up on stage and I just do my tight 5 minutes that I've been working on forever. And I'm hitting the fucking punchlines. And then they told me that Courtney was standing kind of near the table we were sitting at. And he goes, oh, shit. Oh, this motherfucker has a joke. Oh, get the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and that's literally how he talks.
Yeah, and then he sat next to my brothers. Yeah. And he's just arms crossed. And he would laugh and he goes, motherfucker, he actually has a set. This dude's a comedian. Yeah. He's like getting all of it. And then when I got off stage,
that's what he would always tell me.
Yeah, and he goes up, he brings up the next comic, and then he sits next to me. He goes, dude, where are you from? Like, where? And then he just started talking to me. And then he goes, come back in 2 days. He goes, I have a showcase that he does at the tiniest bar.
Yep.
He goes, come back, do 10 minutes. He goes, I got to have you back.
Yeah.
He goes, all these, and he just shit talking all the other comedians. He goes, look at these dudes. He goes, but you're a fucking comedian.
Yeah. That's like, God, dude. Are we done with Austin talk? You trying to fucking put me in a dark hole tonight?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know why you hated it so. I had a great time.
No, I mean, there's reasons. You know why?
Yeah, I know.
Fucking, I'm trying to get over every day. Keep thinking about it, dude. But like, I'm trying. It's hard. It's hard.
It definitely was a good opportunity for me, just because it was the first real experience with comedy outside of Vegas.
So the problem with, like, the thing about Vegas that makes this scene special is it's not saturated.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And most of the people that are doing it are just actual comics, not like actors and singers or whatever coming in and singing on the mic or doing some bullshit. And it's like, oh my God, look at talent. It's like, bro, go to America's Got Talent. All right. Like, I mean, if you stick with it for a year, then I believe in you. Do your thing. Right. Like, do your thing. Right. But, I don't know about you, but I've never done anything on a mic. I've never done anything on a stage, nothing. So I'm extremely raw.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you see that. You obviously see it on stage with me.
Yeah.
But there's moments where you're like, oh, there's something there.
Yeah.
And I know you've seen it, and I know like people have seen it.
Yeah.
People tell me, I mean, Scrunjo, the guy who's done comedy for 25 years, was like, how long you been doing comedy? I was like, 10 months. He's like, this is unbelievable, your presence on stage. Yeah. It's crazy. And that's because I lived in that moment, which Ty Rivera told me to do.
Yeah, live in that moment.
Like, and he's obviously a monster, and he crushes basically wherever he goes. He does his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, just live in the moment, and in like, not only do I look forward for bombings, but I want to go up after a beast.
Yeah.
Because I want to up them.
Yeah.
That's how crazy I am. Like, I want to up you.
Yeah, it's like you think you did well.
Yeah,
let's see
wait for daddy to get on stage.
Wait for daddy.
Yeah, dude. Wait for Habibi to get on stage, motherfucker. I'm about to ride this Macho Capri to Mars. I have no idea what I just said there. But yeah, like that's kind of like how I do it. But like Vegas, what's cool about this scene is that it's small.
Yeah.
And it's tiny, but we get mics every single day, twice a day, like we talked about earlier, and then shows. And then San Diego, LA, this, that. You could hit 5 scenes within 4 hours. You can't do that anywhere else.
That's why it surprises me, because what I want
That's why I don't want you to leave, dude. I really fucking love you.
Yeah.
Like, you're one of the guys who is really, like, there's not too many guys in this scene or any comedy scene where people, when they walk into the door, they're cool with everyone. And that's you.
Yeah.
And that's why we love you.
Yeah.
Like, I look up to you. You know what I mean? And like, that's why when you're like, I want to go to Texas, this and that, and it's like, I just hope that you don't go.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you establish roots here.
It's because Ty Rivera, I saw one of his podcasts, and it's probably one of the best advice he could give to up and coming comics is you're never going to make it in the city you started.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that after going to Texas. I see how well I was received just in an audience that I'm not used to, because Vegas people, whether they're tourists or they're locals who come to these shows out here, they're wild, and so they want wild shit and they're ready for wild shit. In Austin and these places in Texas,
I hate that place.
They're not quite like Vegas people.
Yeah.
So going out there and my material working, even the bits that people pulled away from, because I had a couple times where I was in the middle, I'm just setting up the bit, and I could feel the audience kind of pull away. And I'm like, okay, now I got to bring them back.
Yeah.
And so it's that energy of like,
I feel you on
it's
that.
a challenge.
Yeah,
like, how do I get you back on my side? And so it was just working through that. And yeah, I believe it to my core that I could stay out here for 10 years and never make it. But if after that 10 years that I stay out here, let's say I go to fucking New York or LA or something other, big market, I could blow the fuck up.
Yeah, but
and
like
it's just that easy.
But
not that easy, but it's like just that simple.
The thing about Vegas that's super unique too, though, is that you can buy a piece of real estate out here for like 230K, right? A condo.
Yeah.
And this is at the height of the market.
Yeah.
So if you try to figure, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, where can I establish roots? I want to establish roots here.
Yeah.
Let me buy some real estate here. Right? Let me buy a condo here. Let me have a home base here.
Yeah.
And then I can go to this place here, and I can go to this place here, and then I come back to my home.
Yeah.
Right? And then but like if I'm killing in these places, yes, well, Ty Rivera is obviously right because he's been in the game for so long.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
But with what's going on with social media and presence and your podcast, if it, which will eventually blow up or not, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe in you. Some of these other cunts, no.
Yeah.
But like, if that shit blows up, then when you come back here, it don't matter. Like, look at Joe Coy. Like, he started here, right? Then he moved to LA or whatever, but his home base is here still. Technically, he still probably has a house. I mean, he's fucking loaded.
But I think it makes it better that way.
Yeah.
It's like everybody here, comics, and I mean, I meet people sometimes who have seen me at a show, and I don't remember this person because they were just in the audience, and I have no real interaction with them. And then I saw them somewhere else, and they go, "Oh shit, hey, what's up, man?" And they're giving me hugs and shit, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, who the fuck are you?" And they're like, "No, we were at that show that you performed. You're fucking funny." And I'm like, that blows my mind, But it's also these people, because they're comedy fans that go to different shows around town. If I perform on enough of these, they're going to see me enough and, get used to what I'm doing and whatnot. So that when I leave and I can kind of blow up over there and then I come back, now I, like, let's say maybe I have some credits or I have more experience under my belt, a new fucking 20 minutes that I can bring to Vegas audience.
Yeah.
Then my fucking support in Vegas goes way up.
Yeah.
Because in a sense they missed me.
Yeah. So like that. So like I like what you're thinking, but this is my mindset, right? I establish roots here, get a property here, and then let's say 10 years from now, I'm doing great. And if I have everything right in order, I financially do well, and I have some sort of way to basically make money without working, passive income, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Then I can go live in New York for 3 months. Boom. Could do comedy there. And then I'll go to LA, and then I come back to Vegas. That's kind of my game plan. Is
and
like
I have a similar thing.
Yeah.
But I think Texas is where I'm gonna do the roots. You know what I mean?
you think so? Because of the family?
Because my family's all out there.
I hate all that.
I got nieces and nephews, man, that they're growing up.
Tell them to move here.
They're fucking. My family ain't gonna move out here.
I fucking hate that place,
Dude,
bro. I mean,
I love Texas. I don't like Austin. I really don't. But I like
hate
Texas
that
as a whole. I like Texas.
I fucking hate
But
it.
I think I can do the same thing. It's like set up the roots in Texas. You know, buy fucking property out there.
Yeah.
Have my girl, you know, because she wants to go into like wildlife shit. So
She's so smart.
Biology.
She's so much better than us.
I know. Why does she even hang out
Does
with
she have
us?
a sister?
Only child. Everybody asks me that.
God. Cousins?
No, all male.
Whatever, dude. Bring them on. It's been brutal lately. These fucking sluts out here, dude.
I'll suck a fucking Iranian
Dude,
dick if
I'll
I have
fucking
to.
do anything, bro. Look, I got an 800 fucking credit score. I could do a lot, right? I'm fucking fluid right now. But like, speaking of fluidity, keep going with your thing. But like, that's what I think. From what I'm figuring out, be fluid as a comic. Because I have a child, it is tough. But in 10 to 12 years, my child will be 18. He's on his own.
Yeah.
And I will be fluid to where I live.
Yeah.
Let me build the fucking funniness. And because I live in Vegas, I can hit LA, I can hit here, I can hit there, I can hit there. And like,
and if you think about it, Texas is south, you know, pretty much as south as you can get in this country, you know, just geographically, you know. But from Texas, you can hit all the major hubs in the same time frame. You know what I mean? It's like New York is what, a 4-hour flight, just like
not even
LA.
like 3.
Yeah, LA.
You're basically 3 hours from wherever you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if, let's say, you know, I hopefully start becoming a touring headliner, then I can fucking hit clubs all over the place, and it's only a 4-hour flight no matter where I'm trying to go.
I'll only let you be a touring headliner if I can open for you. I want to be a feature act. You promise? You don't fucking have...
Dude, if I get to that point before you do, yeah, I'll have you open.
Yeah! You fucking heard that here first, people.
I'll have you open. I'll have Mark S. Johnson as my feature, and then I'll fucking headline.
That's fine.
That's how I want it.
Those are your homies?
Those are my...
Because we are... and that's a good... One of the things is that we're all different.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't want...
And I'll switch out you and Evan Connolly. I like Evan.
I love Evan.
I love Evan so much.
Yeah. Because like...
but he'll probably get famous before all of us.
Dude, the reason why I love Evan so much, because I remember when he first went on the stage and people were like, ugh. And then now he's like getting spots everywhere.
Yeah, and he kills it.
And that's like how, like, I've noticed, like, with this scene is like people get hot real fast and then it dies off. Mm-hmm. People get hot over here, then it dies off. I'm still waiting for my hotness.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there yet.
I don't want to get hot real fast.
Yeah.
And it's not happening for me, but I'm getting that kindling is starting to burn.
Right.
You know, so I do feel like I'm starting to get that burn around town where it's like I get booked on places and I do well every time. It's starting to get around. Like, you know, Dennis Lavender.
He loves you.
He loves me. And he just hit me up out of nowhere to do that fucking 10-minute spot on Monday. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm on his radar. You know what I mean?
He loves you, Sanchez.
Yeah. Connolly loves Evan.
Yeah.
But he has so many fucking comics that he could choose from because he's so far into the game as well. He's like 12, 13 years in. He has so many great people he could choose to do a 10-minute at his spot.
Right.
But I'm on his radar.
That's dope.
That's great to know.
Yeah.
You know, Fitzy. I've done Fitzy and Friends before. You know.
Is that over, by the way?
The Artifice? Yeah, it's done.
So what do they do Tuesdays? Nothing?
18 bin.
Other than that, but like, I mean, there's nothing going on at Artifice. Why wouldn't they just let it run?
Well, from what he tells me, the owner didn't really like the comedy that was going on there, and just wanted every reason to kick Fitzy out.
Yeah,
that's what I heard anyway.
It happens. These shows come and go, man.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then hopefully he starts working on his Fremont Street one because that's a banger of a show.
That backstage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was on Friday nights, right?
Yeah. That's a banger of a show too.
Because Fitzy's cool, man. He gives everyone a chance.
Yeah.
Right, and like you either flop or you fucking kill it.
Well, I mean, I barked for Fitzy on that show for 6 hours, and I still haven't gotten a spot. So Fitzy, get me on your show.
Fitzy,
he'll never hear
that's
this.
Fucked up. That's fucked up.
It was a fun time though.
Just clip that out and then put it on the reels. He'll see it. Just send it to him.
It was fun though because that was my first experience barking for a show.
Yeah.
So I'm standing on Fremont with fucking foot traffic like a motherfucker with flyers trying to hand it out to people. Hey, there's a fucking show going on.
What time do y'all do that?
I went out there at like fucking 5, 6 p.m. and barked until the show started, which is like 8 or 9.
And you didn't get a spot?
And I didn't get a spot that night.
He
paid me for barking because he was like, he goes, my shit's full. He goes, I can't give out any more spots. But he did tell me, he goes, but I'll keep you in mind, so I'll get you on one of the next shows.
Yeah.
And still nothing. But but barking was so fun because I've never, even being a comic, you don't experience that type of rejection.
Right.
Some people don't even acknowledge that you're alive.
Right.
I'm like, hey, you guys like comedy? And fucking some people just give me a dirty look and all that. Now, anytime I'm on the street and somebody wants to hand me a flyer, I acknowledge them, even if I'm going to throw the flyer away. I'm like, I'm just going to acknowledge you as a human being because I've done this before.
I feel like we're probably like sort of the same where like, so like you're talking about like you're having like it's starting to catch on for you.
Yeah.
For me, like I don't want it to catch on early either because I don't think my material is there. Right. So I want to build the material. So when I do go on there, it's an absolute murder.
Yeah.
Right. Because you will eventually get to a point in comedy where you know this is going to kill basically every single time.
Yeah.
The toughest thing I think is the free shows because you just don't know what crowd you're getting.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's a paid
or featuring for the fun day shows,
that's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Okay.
Because there's nobody there. It's all the same comics who you could have performed in front of if you just signed up.
Yeah.
I have featured for Fun Days a couple times now. And, I appreciate, Ian giving me that chance, because it shows that he, respects me or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking disaster.
But it's like you could do the same thing at Kevin Whitney's 10-minute mic.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not going to get paid for it, but it's like the same type of reaction.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you go and sign up for Saturday at Noreen's,
okay.
You're going to get the same reaction as if you were booked as a feature Saturday night Noreen's because it's the same comics who are there. There's maybe 2 audience members who don't give a fuck. They're drunk and they're gambling.
Yeah.
And it's just a train wreck.
I had like one really good night there. It's been Randall Thompson featured there. Not recently, but the one way before. And he went up and I went up after him, I think, or maybe right before. No, I think I went up right after him. And I love going up after people who killed. And he killed. Because, like, I've seen him kill, but his stuff is edgy, right? So it's hard to digest if you're not ready.
Because I just saw him the other week featuring there, and nobody gave him anything. I was laughing my ass off, and a handful of comics laughing their ass off. But I legit had this moment because he went into this whole, like, how he hates women thing.
Yeah.
And I just leaned over to, who was it? Reynolds.
Okay.
And I leaned over to Reynolds and I go, oh shit, is this Randall's Kramer moment?
Yeah.
I was like, is this what's going to get him kicked out of comedy? Like, holy shit, because it was wild. But I'm laughing because he's actually making good jokes.
Yeah.
But once he started into this hating women thing, there was a small crowd of people there that just checked out.
Yeah.
As soon as he went into it, they were like, nope. He made 2 people walk.
Fuck,
it was wild.
Like, I don't even want to gamble no more. I'm out. Like,
it was fucking
it's
wild.
tough because you can't like say anything. Like, he's black, so it's like, no, it's just fucking. But like, I remember I went up after him and I fucking murdered. It was the trailer park bit that I had, that I just kind of lived in the moment and came up with right there. So like that's sometimes it's weird, man. Like sometimes when I do my bit the first time, I kill it, but then like to bring that moment back is so tough.
Yeah. I had the same thing with the story I was just telling you about seeing my dad's dick when I was young.
Yeah.
I did it for the first time at Wise Guys, and it killed.
Okay.
I have it on recording.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch that video for a week.
Yeah.
But that entire week, I kept going out to other spots and doing that bit, and it would bomb. Like sometimes it'd be okay, I'd get some chuckles, but it would bomb.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I went back and I looked at, watched that video, and it was just certain wording that I used in the first time that I didn't use every other time that I told it. And I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
There was this rawness of what I was doing, but now I'm trying to recreate that, but I don't remember what I said. And so I'm just going off the cuff and I'm changing the words, I'm changing the order, and that's why it bombed. And so I studied that recording, and then now I've been doing it that way again.
Exactly.
And it starts killing again.
Right.
I'm like, It's just capturing that moment.
Yeah, capturing. That's the thing. Like trying to capture. That's why I think recording is so important. It's so douchey, but you have to do it.
It's not douchey. It's what you have to do.
Yeah.
It's like with like football players.
Yeah.
Like you watch the tapes.
Right.
Like I gotta watch the tapes before I,
That's what killed me about the La Jolla Comedy Store. They don't let taping, and I was gonna do it, and then I didn't, and it was like one of my most killer sets, and I only had 3 minutes. I absolutely fucking.
And they wouldn't let you even just record your own set?
I mean, I probably could have snuck it, but I didn't want to chance it because I want to come back there.
Oh, yeah,
right?
For sure.
And
That's weird that they wouldn't let comics do their own
pretentious people there, you know? So, like, I don't want to play around. I didn't even ask. I was, like, so nervous. I was just, like... And I was just kind of studying the crowd. Like, that's one thing I like to do. Like, just hang out, study, look at the crowd, look at the people. Yeah. Are they in it? Okay, cool. Like, this is a crowd where I can really get some crowd work in. Like, that fucking Pentagon joke hit so hard. Dude.
Yeah. I got to tell you a story.
Yeah. Tell me.
I'm not going to say the name, but I'm going to write it down here so you know who I'm talking about because it'll make more sense. I don't know how to
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell his last name.
I already know who you're talking about.
So, one time...
never seen him kill.
Never. He never does.
Maybe one day, though. You never know.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe he'll figure it out. But I remember it was before I really ever knew him, before I ever met him. He just started going up at Wise Guys, and he went up right before I did. He gets up there, starts saying how he's able to say, like, faggot and retard and all these words, and he has this whole thing. Does it for 3 minutes, and the whole audience is silent and uncomfortable.
Yes.
He gets off stage. They call me onto the stage, and I'm sweating bullets at this point, because I'm like, did he just fuck this for me? So I grab the mic. First thing out of my mouth, I just go, give it up for your last comic. And they all fucking erupt.
Yeah, dude.
And then I just go right into my material and I end it.
Yeah.
One of the best sets I've ever had at Wise Guys because he fucked it up for himself. And then they were just uncomfortable.
Bro.
And then when I went up there and just didn't even have to acknowledge it. Like, I didn't really have to go like, he's fucking doing this. And, you know, like, I didn't have to acknowledge his set. I just had to go, give it up for him.
Right.
And
dude.
It just broke that tension that was in the room. And then they were on my side. And then everybody else after me was able to fucking kill.
Dude, like like when you start trying to like lecture people and stuff, it gets a little like, you know what I mean? But like, so yesterday I technically bombed my material because I had that heckler and it just was fucking me up.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole entire set, people were laughing because I watched it.
Yeah.
And I got people to laugh. So I still was having fun and being silly and doing like I remember Johnny Brim. I was like, yeah, like I remember when I kind of started out, he's like, I'm like, you got any advice? You know, I'm like, you know, me being an idiot.
Yeah.
And he's like, he wrote down on a piece of paper, he said, just be funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I remember those.
That's
I remember
what a lot
these
of comics
moments.
will do.
Right. I remember these moments, like the moment with you about cutting this bitch's head off, fucking Preacher Lawson, Johnny Brim, you know, living in the moment. Ty Rivera told me stuff. Casper's confidence, like that shit, like that fucking mentality to have, like to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, maybe my material's not there, but believe in yourself and put yourself out there because you don't know what could happen.
Yeah.
Right. So like those little tiny moments, and it's like, you know, one of the things is just be funny, man. Like I bombed and I was still funny somehow. So that's a learning. I was like, wait, how the fuck?
That means that you didn't really bomb. It's just you dealt
the material.
Okay, yeah.
Well, the material was hitting a little bit, but I couldn't even get into it because I was fucking with this lady.
Because you were dealing with the heckler.
Yes, wild, dude.
Which that's great. That's great. She kind of bailed you out.
Yeah,
you know?
like because I was kind of nervous with that set because I've only done it in a 5-minute form, not a 3-minute form. So I was like, where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna go? And then like the punchline, they were laughing before I even said it because I was like, yeah, my son went to school with those gloves on. I love gape gloves. Yeah. And I was like, you ever try to explain to a principal? And then I started stuttering on my words. And then she was like, I'm from Jalisco. I have $6. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck. Build a goddamn wall. No, I'm just kidding. God, I voted red this year to get you guys out of here.
And I'm still here, bitch.
Yeah, what's up, son? But yeah, like, just be funny, man. Yeah. Just try to be funny. But you never know. In the right certain circumstances, in the right areas, that his stuff could work. I don't know, but like maybe it will come together one day. He's a smart kid. Like he knows stuff. Sometimes you're too smart for your good, and it just takes a while. Maybe 10 years from now, you never know. But like dude, like I just remember people talking not crazy about Evan Conley, but people were like, this kid's never like gonna have a chance. Like when I first saw him go up, like people were like nobody laughed at his jokes, nothing. And then all of a sudden now it's like he's starting to hit
every single time.
Yeah, it's starting to really hit hard. So it's just like, dude, it's just sticking with something over time, man. Like everything in life, it's just sticking with it. Like just stick with it.
But also it's like don't get too full of yourself.
And don't get too comfortable, right?
Too comfortable.
Yeah. Do things to make yourself uncomfortable. Reverse your set. Reverse this. Live in the like that's one thing that I'm hoping I never get comfortable with is riffing, because I love riffing and I love just like coming up with the idea and go and run with it on stage because of the wildness. And I've had like a wild life. Like I've done a lot of fucked up shit, right? We've talked about it, right? Off mic, off whatever. Some of the stuff that you've done is fucked up, but you were on drugs, right? Yeah, most of my life. I was never on drugs, and that's scary. Yeah, I've never been on drugs, and I've done a lot of fucked up things.
That's good. You know, so. As we learned, you've been doing comedy 10 months. Right?
Yeah, almost 11.
And what did you say? You're 34?
34. A little late in the game, but life experience means a lot.
But I mean, that's the thing. I got into comedy when I was 24, 25, somewhere in there. And I thought I was late to the game, you know, but because you hear about all these comics who got into it when they were like, as soon as they could get into a bar, they started, you know, or like Chappelle, where he was 14 doing it.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I thought I was late in the game, but what made you actually want to get on stage for that first time?
So there's a couple moments I would say. So I did jiu-jitsu pretty religiously for like a year straight. One of my friends had a birthday. And we, jiu-jitsu class, his name is Matt, really cool friend of mine. He would be a great comic if he ever fucking came out there. You hear me, bitch? Nah. But like, he's really busy. His dad takes the jiu-jitsu stuff seriously and is a coach. So it was his birthday, and like, I remember we're all just hanging out at this bar, this PT's right there on Blue Diamond in Buffalo. And we're chilling, and like, nobody's talking, nobody's like laughing. It was just awkward. So I just started talking about shit about life, going down to Mexico to find these hoes, like all this shit, like, you know, this crazy shit. I talked for like 2 hours, 3 hours about just my life. Yeah. So there was that moment. And then there was, when I got COVID, I was sick for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, wow. Came back, started rolling, doing whatever. And they're like, oh man, he was like, dude, we missed you, bro. My boy, Matt, and like a couple other guys said that. I'm like, why, dude? And they're like, dude, we fucking love just hanging out after class and just like hearing you talk. Yeah. You're wild. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, all right. And then one day I just watched all those Kill Tony stuff and everything, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, and then one day I just went to Wise Guys, talked to like Brian Shenanigan, got on the list. They put me up, and I remember my first bit. It was like how, like, they're always pushing like Asian 10 rings or whatever, like the fucking it was the Marvel comics. And they're always pushing like Asian shit. I'm like, when the fuck are we gonna get the Middle Easterns there? Like, instead of 10 rings, we do 10 pyramids. Ha ha ha! Like, you know, it's just a terrible joke. I mean, it could probably work eventually. Like, somebody can make that work. Yeah. But now these Middle Easterns are coming out of nowhere. You know, they're starting to be in movies and shit. So it's weird. But yeah, so like that's kind of like how it started was that. But like I've also, I mean, since I was a young kid. 17, 16 years old. Maybe one of the first comics I truly listened to was Dane Cook. The fucking BK Lounge. BK Lounge. Yeah. Like that shit was fire. I remember I was dating this one girl. Probably my longest relationship, 9 months. Sorry, bitches. But like, that's it. That's the truth. Red flag. I don't care. But like, I remember she was like, oh, you got to listen to this guy, Dane Cook. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I listened to him and I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Nice. And then I remember Jeff, that black guy, not black. He's not black. He's white. The Tenacious D.
Jack Black.
Jack Black. His comedy shit with the music was fire. Okay. Right back then when I was younger. And then I got into Cat Williams when I was like 2021.
He's a black guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a black guy. And with the most beautiful hair. Cat, you heard me. Put me on the show, bro. 5 minutes spot son. And like I remember him doing the lawnmower bit, all that stuff, like Pimp Chronicles, and I was always a fan of Dave Chappelle's stuff.
Yeah.
And those are probably, Chris Rock was probably the main dudes that I've kind of looked forward to, but I just never even thought of doing comedy until I came out here. And then just things like in the last year that happened in my life, with COVID, everyone got to think like, what am I doing at this job?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I at Caesar's Palace?
Yeah.
Just dealing blackjack fast as fuck for no reason. Because I'm really fast. I'll be honest. I'm the best blackjack dealer out there. But I used to also deal poker, and I won the World Series of Poker Dealer of the Year, which is a really tough thing to win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did tell people to vote for me, but I don't care. And I wasn't a travel dealer. Usually, traveler dealers who travel the WSOP circuit throughout the country win that because they're with all the managers who vote. The managers are the ones who vote.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the ones who stayed at Caesar's Palace. And, I never traveled and I won because, I was a beast. Like, that's just what it was back then. Not anymore. Like, I could still deal, but not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, why am I at these jobs?
Yeah.
Why? I tried to move up at these jobs so many times and nothing would ever happen.
Yeah.
I would never move up. And it's like, why? And then, but for what? Why would I? What's the point of me moving up to these jobs? Where am I going?
Yeah.
Am I going to run this casino?
Yeah.
No. And what happened is that I ran a casino when I was younger, 23, 24 years old, right? I got a lot of success early.
Nice.
I think success early is not the best thing in the world. I think grinding through and getting through the toughest moments is a lot better. And then hitting success later on in life is a lot better. Mm-hmm. Right. It's kind of like the high school kid who peaks at high school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but I also don't want to peak in my mid 20s and I don't want to peak at 30. Yeah. I want to peak around 45. I think that's in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't get these opportunities. It was just fucking stupid shit after stupid shit. And then working overnights, doing this, doing that. It's just like, what am I doing? Yeah. I'd rather just drive Uber and figure out life on my own.
Then that's why I got really lucky in the position that I was, where I was finally able to quit my job, and I don't have a full-time job right now. I don't have a job at all. Yeah. I just do comedy. Yeah. And I got really lucky at the point in my life that I was able to do it because I've been working since I was 14 years old. Right. I've never been without a job from 14 to 26. Okay. Yeah. I've always had a job. But at that point, I had been working in the weed industry for 6 years. Okay. About 6 years. And, I got started in Colorado, and then the company that I worked for moved me out to California to help start up a business out there. Okay. They paid for my rent. I had a good salary, everything. Mm-hmm. But California weed industry was in its the recreational in its infancy. Yeah. So shit was sketchy. Right. I was making, $20,000-$30,000 deals, all in cash, in a parking lot of a Dunkin' Donuts with a dude that I had never met and that my boss had never met. Wow. So I was scared that I was going to get shot and robbed one day. Yeah. So eventually I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to move out to Vegas because closest state, big city that has recreational weed. So got into the industry out here. Worked here for 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. Same job. Fucking built a rapport with them, and then also upped their productivity. I gave them all my knowledge of, working in 2 different states, and how everything works. And I made that company better, objectively, by the numbers. And I still, after pushing for, getting a raise and moving up and all of this, they stiffed me every time. Right. They gave me hollow promises. And then eventually I just told, and then it got to a point where my managers were resenting me because I knew what I was doing. Right. I had more experience than both of them put together. Yeah. And so I'm pretty much running this because I did concentrates. So it was a lot of, we looked at work. Yeah, we worked in a lab. I worked, how to, purify THC and shit. Right. Which is the job that I've been doing for fucking 6 years. My managers started to resent me because I was outshining them, but the higher ups wouldn't ever give me more pay or
Okay.
a better fucking position or anything. Then those two managers started treating me like it was my first day. And so if something went wrong and I was like, no, I know how to fix this,
Yeah.
they'd fucking ignore me and then do this whole runaround that took weeks and then go back to what I said, which solved the problem.
Yeah.
And eventually I started missing work a lot.
Yeah.
Like I would just, if I didn't feel like it, I just wouldn't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually I didn't go to work one day and I went to my job at like 3 p.m. Should have been there at 5 a.m. Went there at 3 p.m., sat down with the CEOs, and I was like, look, I know it's customary to give you 2-week notice, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
This is why. And I laid out everything to them. This is how you get, this is all the promises. This is how they're treating me, you know, my managers and shit. This is everything. This is why I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the CEOs, she loved me. Like, she was really cool. And she just kind of gave me that look. She put her hand on my back. She goes, I'm really sorry that it turned out this way. She goes, I'm going to have to talk with those guys that work in your department. She goes, I'm going to have to talk with them because we hate to lose you. She goes, but I understand why you're walking away.
Yeah.
She goes, the company, this is a line they kept feeding me, is the company's not ready to give you more money. That's what she told me. She goes, we're not ready to give you more money to keep you here, but I'm really sad that you're leaving.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, and that's what it was. And
yeah, because
I've been, what was
tough.
it, May?
Yeah.
I think it was May of this year that I quit my job.
Yeah.
I've been that long without a job.
Does it affect you today? Like, does that motivate you?
It motivates me, but it also freaks me out daily.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to a routine.
Yeah.
I'm used to waking up, going to work, coming home, you know, doing comedy when I was doing comedy. But now I have to wake up and give myself that regiment, that schedule. I have to make one. And that's the weirdest shit to me.
It's hard, man. I'm battling it right now.
And that's why I got really big into partying for a long time, because I was like, I'm fucking free, bitch.
Yeah.
And so I just went off the deep end for a long time.
Yeah.
And then now I've started to reel it back, and I'm like, okay, now my routine is get up, you know, I get my coffee or a Red Bull, smoke a cigarette, write a little bit, then chill, do a podcast if I need to, then do some spots. You know, cook, clean, whatever I need to do.
Any type of way to keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
You know, keep for me, I got to keep the chatter out of my head.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, because I got a lot of that.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing is, like, I was okay with partying for 3 days straight sometimes because I knew I didn't have anything to do. So I would party for 3 days straight, sleep for an entire day.
Yeah.
And then on that second day, get up, still kind of hungover, and then just go do spots again. And then sometimes it was another day and a half or 2 day bender.
Right.
And I kept doing that because I was like, I don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's no fucking, like, there's no responsibility. Like, I can just do whatever I want. But then I was like, okay, now my comedy is suffering. And that was the big kick in the ass where I was like, oh shit. Now I'm not performing like I need to be. I'm not writing like I need to be. So it's like, dial it back.
Yeah.
And also, like, my girlfriend, you know, because she's great, but she was getting to that point. She was like, I can't take this.
Yeah.
She goes, I can't take your partying. She goes, I can't take your partying. She goes, I told you I'd support your comedy. She goes, but I'm not supporting your degeneracy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it. And so I've definitely reeled it back.
And it's good, dude. It's good that, like, you told me this stuff, because, like, I really don't want you to leave, but I understand if you do. And I think some of the things in Vegas is part of the reason why you want to leave. And I get it.
Yeah,
like, I totally understand, man. Like, it's all here. Yeah. Everything terrible that can happen in someone's life is here.
Yeah.
At a tenfold. But if you learn how to discipline yourself and figure that out, then it doesn't truly matter where you live. You'll be fine.
For sure. And that's the hardest thing I've had to deal with, because I've been an addict my entire life.
Yeah.
You know, I've struggled with addiction my entire life.
Yeah.
And just being in the hub of addiction, which this city is.
Yeah. It's brutal, man. It's brutal, dude.
I can't handle it.
You know, like, it's good that you're on that path, man. And, like, some of those things that you went through with your job, like I went through my job, I went through with my life. Just like, I remember going to a guidance counselor at school, and she was like, I was like, yeah, I just want to go to community college, play football. And she was like, yeah, you can't. I was like, okay. They're like, why? And they're like, yeah, there's just no school that's going to accept you with your grades or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, what can I do? They're like, nothing. I was like, cool. So, and like, just like little things like that, like the work thing, girls turning me down, doing dumb shit to me or whatever. Like, maybe I'm not getting the spots that I want in comedy or something, but like that doesn't matter like right now because I'm so young in my career. I don't really care, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like just like little things that happened in my life, I try to take all that stuff as motivation. But there's so many things that are together now that I'm like super aggressive and super motivated now.
Yeah.
Like so many terrible things happened so many good things happened within the last year and so many terrible things, so many mistakes I've made. And there's some good stuff that I've made as well. The good things I've done too. But like, there's a lot of dumb shit I've done financially I left my kid for a dumb bitch, all this stuff, like just stupid shit, man, that I've done. And I'm back. I'm starting to come into a really good mind frame. Like my mind does run crazy. Like I have moments where I don't know what's going on. Like I have moments I drop somebody off and I just start yelling in my car like I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I don't even know why, because I get like some sort of PTSD moment, some flashback, like talking about that area. Like it's going to give me a flashback later on tomorrow, the next day, or the next day. Yeah. I've been thinking about that area every single day for 2 months now since I've been back. Yeah. And I can't shake it, and it's killing me inside. But I know I'm going to get past it. Time heals everything. Yeah. Not only does time heal everything, time makes you better at everything. So if you think that way with comedy or whatever you're doing in your life, anything that whatever, like I don't care what you're doing. You want to be the best fucking Burger King flipper or whatever for flipping burgers, you're gonna be that in 10 to 12 years. It's just gonna happen
as long as you fucking
gotta
focus on it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like and I'm going to be starting my podcast soon, and you're going to be a guest very early. And Daddy has a lot of great equipment, and we're going to fucking kill. I don't know if we're going to kill, but we're going to do it and try to figure it out. Yeah. Like, and play the long game. Like, I'm not going to get any views at the beginning, obviously, and I might not get any views for 10 years, but I'm going to keep doing it because why not? What do I got to lose?
Piss real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
So, like you were saying, it's like, whatever you want to be the best at.
Yeah.
It's like just put 100% of your time in that. Well, it doesn't even have to be 100%, but just the main focus, and you can be one of the best.
Yeah, just don't give up.
Just don't give up.
That's kind of like what it is.
When I was working in the weed industry, I had shitty jobs my entire life. Yeah. Landscaping. I worked in restaurants and retail and all of this, and I hated everything. Then I got into the weed industry, and then I found that one thing, and I was like, holy shit, this is an amazing job. I really loved what I did. I did that for, let's say, 4.5, 5 years.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought there's no better job than this. Then I did stand-up for the first time, and I was like, fuck, I hate my job. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to do comedy now. And there was the first time that I ever did something after experiencing that job, which I loved so much. And then I did comedy, and it was just, oh, fuck. Yeah. This is so different now. Because I've wanted to do comedy my entire life.
Me too. And, like, do you remember the first time you killed?
First time? No. That's the weird thing, is I remember my first time ever. Mm-hmm. I remember every time that I bombed. I don't remember the first time that I killed. Not, like, specifically.
Yeah.
I remember the time frame. Like I was 5-6 months in. Yeah. And I remember it started to click a little bit. Yeah. And I was getting more laughs than I ever did. Mm-hmm. So I remember the time frame, but I don't remember the first time that I killed. I remember the first time where the response from the audience fucked up my timing. Yeah. I was at Backstop. This had to have been like a 1.5 years ago. I'm at Backstop. And they always have a great crowd there. And I go up there, I have 5 minutes, and I recorded that set, and I have it on recording where I'm so used to just set up punchline, and then you go into the next setup almost immediately. Yeah. Because we're used to these shitty open mics.
Yeah, basically.
But I hit the punchline, and they started laughing. And then I said 2 words into the next setup, and then pulled back to let them finish laughing. Yeah. And it was this weird thing, and it was this kind of like, stutter stepping through my entire set of like, I would hit a punchline and they'd laugh. And then instinctually, I want to just get into the next bit, but I had to hold back.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that I ever realized when you
Yeah.
have a fucking crowd of people who
Mhm.
are listening to you and you're good, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you need to know how to pace yourself.
Right. And that's I'm still learning that. I was going to ask you too, because I've noticed like sometimes like I'm like you ever pause like real hard before? Yeah, because that helps me a lot like lately, like just really pausing a lot. And I was gonna see if like is that something you throw into your sets?
I don't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
I just have that type of delivery on stage.
Yeah, you
where
got.
it's like a very Sam Lundstedt. I love Sam Lundstedt.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite people in the scene. He's the one who gave me this compliment that he has seen me do 10-minute sets. He's seen me do 3-minute sets at Wise Guys. And this was after one of the 3 minutes at Wise Guys that he pulled me aside and he goes, I've seen you do long time. I've seen you do short time like this. He goes, you have the same fucking delivery.
Yeah.
He goes, you're very slow and deliberate in what you say. He goes, a lot of people with the 3 minutes, they rush it because they feel like I don't have a lot of time. Let me get everything out. And they're talking fast and they're running over punchlines. He goes, you with the 3 minutes, you're still the same slow delivery. Here we go. And this is what I'm saying. And he goes, it's very deliberate. And he goes, I appreciate that in you. And I was like, that's a fucking great compliment.
That's good, man. Because like I've noticed like we do rush 3-minute sets because it's 3 minutes, you know. But like I've done sometimes I've done like long pauses and it's really like worked like really good. Like really good. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like so like I'm kind of experiment because like some of the shit that we say is pretty intense. So like you got to give the crowd like a minute to like take it in and force laughter.
And you know what's funny though is I've seen comics who have practiced where the laugh is gonna be.
Yeah.
And then there never is one. And so you see them hit a punchline that bombs and then they hold for laughter. And it's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't hold too long for laughter that's never coming.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll hold all day.
You hit one joke 30 seconds in and you just hold for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going to get it eventually.
I have also I've been trying to take away the mic stand. We were talking about that one day.
Oh, yeah.
So like
you got to move the mic.
Yeah.
Mic stand.
Bring it back here and there maybe, but like I'm going to try to move it out of the way because then I get to use my body.
Mm-hmm.
If I have the mic stand, I don't get to use my body.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I was like, okay.
I had the hardest time because I've been following comedy my entire life. I heard professional comics say, take the mic out of the mic stand and move it away from you. Yeah. All right. So in the early days, I used to take the mic out and then I would just set the mic stand right next to me.
Yeah.
And then I would
I
would play with it, rest my hand on it and shit. And it was distracting. And I knew that, you know, after watching so many videos. And like while I'm watching the video, I'm like, dude, that's so fucking distracting. And then I would take the mic stand and put it away from me. But then I didn't know what to do with my other hand. And I would put it in my pocket and then take it out. Yeah. And then put it in and take it. And I would do that my entire set. And I'm like, dude, that's even more distracting.
Right.
And so eventually I've gotten more and more comfortable with just taking it out, putting it away, and then I just gesture and talk or whatever. But you can tell if I am ever bombing and I know it on stage, I grab the mic stand again and I hold the mic stand. I don't mess with it anymore, but I just hold on to it. And that's when you know I'm bombing because I feel I need something to like ground me in the situation because I know I'm bombing. Yeah. And I noticed that just recently. That I only fuck with it now if I'm bombing.
I've done this thing too that it's I don't know if it's good or not, but like basically I'm at an open mic. It's just us comics, and it just doesn't sound right, the bit or the punchline or something. So I was just like, you know what? Let's take it from the top and let me know what you guys think. Let's work. We're here to work. And if you have that mindset, like let's work together. Like
that's interesting. Holy shit.
Yeah.
This is okay. This is this is a moment where you said, you know, I gave you some advice and it's very memorable to you. This is going to be the one for me. Is I've never thought in an open mic where it's just comics and I do a bit and it bombs. I've never thought to go, so what do you guys think? Like, we're here to work this.
Yeah, you know who I saw do that? Mike Charette. You know Mike?
Yeah.
So I saw him like, he was like, "You guys got any tags or anything you want to add?" And I was like, "Oh, dude, wait, I'm taking this open mic too seriously."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Why don't I did it at Kevin's mic, and it was a bunch of people there. And I was doing that bit. That was my first time doing that gay bit. I think that I did that breakup bit or whatever. I guess I don't know if I should be saying gay bit.
Yeah.
Who cares? And it just didn't land right. And I had audience there. I was like, you know what, guys? Let me take that from the top. I didn't deliver that right. And I started the whole entire bit over again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I never thought to do that, but that's probably a great thing to do. Because in a lot of these open mics, a lot of the comics aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
But if it is a room full of comics, half of them aren't paying attention. The other half are just staring at you, waiting for you to get through your shit until they can go up. But if they're listening, it's like, why not go, we're working shit out.
Yeah, I mean,
turn it into a workshop. What do I need to do?
Like,
it's like, what didn't you guys like about this bit?
Right. Like, is it that hacky? Like, I mean, or like, we have 10 minds in here who are comedy minds. We could figure this out. So why don't we all just figure it out?
That's actually brilliant.
So that's just kind of like how I think about shit. Like,
yeah,
when, I mean, it just kind of hit me on stage. And I think I even asked like a couple comics. I'm like, yeah, like, what do you guys like what would you add on this? Like, while I was on the mic, I think I said something like that. So just fucking,
like I said, that's actually fucking brilliant.
Stop taking these open mics so seriously and just be like, loosen the fuck up and just try to take it wherever, like, live in the moment, take it wherever it goes. It doesn't hit, cool. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah,
because it's not working.
Yeah,
and if like Adam Dominguez is a good guy. A free zone, he just understands comedy really good. Obviously he's been doing it for 10 12 years, and like he's a guy that you can talk to after, and he'll give you tags, he'll give you this and he'll give you that. I was like, give me the tag right now, while I'm here, give it to me
while it's fresh,
and then I'll fucking run it and see how it goes, and Adam, it imprints in my mind.
I respect Adam so much.
He's the best,
dude. I
love him.
When I was like 5 months in, I did a show that he was hosting. And I get up there, and one of the early bits that I had was like, fantasizing about raping a dude at an In-N-Out. Like, this whole fucking bit. And then I
gotta bring that back, baby. I'm ready. I want to hear it tonight.
And then I fucking, expanded on it. That's, I was like, I'm not going to keep a gun in my house. I'm just going to keep a giant dildo. And if somebody breaks into my house, I'm just going to strap that shit on and fucking wait for him in the shadows and then, rape him or whatever. It was ridiculous.
I got so hard.
But I did this whole bit, and then, I did some crowd work in the middle of it, because there was like a group of people that they were like, what the fuck? Like, what is he talking about? And then I riffed with them a little bit.
Yeah.
And it actually it was one of the first times that it actually went decently well.
Yeah.
And then, I get off stage, whatever, and Adam comes up and, kind of gives me a little hug or whatever. And as I'm walking off stage, he grabs my hand and he goes, like, you don't hear it on the mic, but he just goes, how long you been doing this? And I was like, 5 months. And I have it on a recording where you see his face and he goes,
Yeah.
And then he goes back and he does his whole thing. Mm-hmm. Then after the show, him and Mark S. Johnson came up to me and both sat with me for like an hour or two after the show and talked comedy with me.
Yeah.
And that was the best fucking thing in the world. That's why I have so much respect for Adam, is like, he's fucking 10-year comic. But he sits down with a guy who's been doing it 5 months.
Yeah.
I did at the time. And he sat with me and really talked comedy with me.
And
it was the fucking best.
Those moments are so key. Like that fucking Scrunjo guy who talked he's been in comedy for 25 years, 30 years, whatever. Def Camp Jam comedy guy, all that stuff. Chris Rock came up with all those two. Kevin Hart, everybody.
Yeah.
Talked to us for like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, roughly, right? And the things that he told us and just talking, one of the things that he preached about on stage is that a lot of people are focused on like basically trying to fast track it, get there to a certain point, or whatever, the social media presence, and they're not focused on the art. So when these guys do their comedy, he's like, they come for the artist but not the art.
Mm-hmm.
And then the art never lives up to the artist.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's who he's like, and that was the clearest example I've ever seen in comedy where the art was him.
Yeah.
Like the art that he had for comedy was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have the social media presence. I'm not sure. I don't know anything too much about the guy. I know he was pretty big time with like Wild Now and all that stuff. I guarantee you could put a Netflix special out. I don't know much about him, but like his comedy, just for him to come and do an hour and a half of material in front of 20 people and just fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to the Comedy Store and I've seen all these guys, the biggest names, Bert Kreischer, fucking Tom Segura. I've seen everybody.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anyone crush like that.
It's wild.
Unbelievable,
and
man.
It's always crazy because you can hear, I've heard people talk about, like I've met people at some of these mics or some of these shows that they talk big shit, you know, I've done this and I'm this and I'm that. And then they get on stage and, you know, it's mediocre, whatever. They don't get a good response or whatever. But you always know somebody who's been doing it a while. Because I ran into a couple of those guys when I was in Houston and I was doing the secret group. I didn't know any of these guys, you know. I'm meeting them for the first time. We're all sitting in the green room and I'm meeting them all for the first time. Even the dude who put on the show. Yeah. I only messaged him on Facebook, but I had never met the guy. So I'm meeting everybody, and then some of these guys go up there, and I see what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like there is a way that somebody crafts a set and crafts a joke that when they get off, you go, he's been doing it a while. Yeah. And I met a lot of guys where it's my first time ever seeing them on stage, and then when they got off, I go, how long you been doing this? Some of them were like 15 years. And I'm like, I can tell. Yeah. You can tell when somebody has put the fucking time into it.
We're lucky at this stage to start comedy at this point because we have so much material on like Instagram, YouTube, or whatever. So like where he started, when he was explaining to me, he's like, I started way down here. You guys are starting way up here. So you guys excel extremely fast. Your floor is so much higher than ours. But if you don't stick with it, that floor doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit if you don't work for it, you know, and really respect the game. Like, I tell people, they're like, what do you do out here for fun? I'm like, I do, you know, stand-up comedy. Yeah. And they're like, oh, so you're a comedian? I'm like, no, I'm not a comedian yet. Not yet.
You tell jokes every night? You're a comedian.
Not yet. I just don't, I respect the game so much that I don't think I can call myself a stand-up.
I talked to somebody who I said the same thing to them. Yeah. And they just asked me, they go, how often do you get out? And I was like, every night. Yeah. And they go, so you're on stage every night telling jokes. You're a comedian. Okay, maybe. And I thought the same thing. I was like, yeah, but I'm not good enough. And they're like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You have the balls to get on stage every night. You're a comedian. This is what it takes.
Maybe that's
you're not professional. You may not be a good comedian. Yeah. But you're a comedian. Yeah. And I forget who told me that. Yeah. But I remember that vividly. Like them, I was just like, I'm not a comedian. I'm just, you know, I just do comedy. And they go, no, you get out every night. You're a fucking comedian.
That's probably like how I should look at it. I don't know. Like I have so much respect for the game that I don't want to disrespect it with my bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like,
but think about every professional comedian that you look up to. They were at your point. Yeah. Probably at the same time 10 months in, they were sitting the same place you were. Yeah. You know, going fucking, it's not working. Or, you know, when is it going to really fucking work?
I almost gave up my best bit fucking a week ago. And then I go to La Jolla Comedy Store and crush. I was like, okay, maybe not. There's something. I'm just in my head. Yeah. You know, and that's.
Because we all get in our heads. Because I get in my head all the fucking time. There have been times where I was like, I'm just going to retire my entire set. Yeah. And I was literally just going to throw everything away and just be like, I'm just going to start from scratch and let's see how it works. And my girl was like, are you fucking retarded? Yeah. She's like, you're ridiculous, right? And she goes, your shit works. It didn't work tonight, but it works. Yeah. So just fucking move on.
Relax. Yeah. And that's like, I'm just hoping like, man, if I'll be honest, like I've been in some certain relationships, whatever, and it's like, dude, when you do have like that support, even though it only lasted X amount of time, it's nice.
It means everything.
It's really nice, man. If I could ever find a girl who was, because I'm shallow, hot enough for me, and love small dicks, and you know, love hummus and terrorism. No,
that loves 2 inches and hummus.
Just like straight, no back shots here. Like I got no back shots, but. How long have we been doing?
We've been going on for almost 3 hours now.
Dude, we're killing it. Dude, this is the best podcast. We're having a great time.
It is.
I just think I just have a lot of love for you, man. Because like I'm gonna be real. Like you're one of the first people that told me that, hey, maybe that joke doesn't work. And I fucking was like, this guy sucks. And then he had a broken hair. I was like, fuck you, bitch. Like, was like, fuck out of here.
Did have a broken hand.
And then like there's just been a few times where I did like when I started opening up more, and then you opened up to me, and I was like, oh, I love this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's like when I see your girlfriend, I'm like, I fucking love this man. Like, how easy is it to love him? She's like, it's not actually.
Shit, it's really not. I don't know if you've heard the story, and we'll wrap it up with this story. Is we were in Texas. We went to Galveston for the last week of the trip.
Real quick, I was supposed to go there with somebody. Fuck! I can't believe you're bringing up this story.
Bitch. But my girl and I go out there just as, get away from family, get away from comedy. It's just us for a week. Let's try to have a nice fucking week. And then one of those days we were at this pier. They have a Ferris wheel. It's this whole shit. And so I planned the day out. And I was like, we're going to go eat at this place. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go fuck around on this pier, play some fucking carnival games. And then when the sun starts setting, I'm going to take this bitch on a Ferris wheel. And it's going to be romantic as hell. Two things I forgot. Right. One, I have a debilitating fear of heights.
Oh, really?
I forgot.
Okay.
And then two, I'm an alcoholic. So I was drinking all day.
I know this.
I forget sometimes. So we get on this Ferris wheel, and like I said, sun is just starting to set over the water. It's fucking beautiful. But I have such a fear of heights that I am gripping that little pole that is right in the center, and I'm shaking. And I just can't handle being up that high. And she's like, fucking calm down, whatever. Everything's going to be okay. And then I have to piss really bad.
Yeah.
And we're stuck on this Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And I have to piss to the point where it's like two options.
Yeah.
I either piss myself or I'm pissing off the side of this thing.
Right.
And she goes, you can't piss off the side of this thing. You're going to piss on somebody. We're going to get kicked out of here. Wow. Turns out she had bought sunscreen earlier that day. And so she had this little plastic bag that was like this big by this big.
Wow.
She pulls it out of her purse and she gives it to me. And so I'm trying to like maneuver, unzip, and fucking piss in this bag, but I couldn't do both of them.
Yeah.
So she holds the bag for me. And I piss into this bag. I get it on her hand. I get it on her shoes. It was fucking ridiculous.
It's true love, dude.
And then we leave, and then I'm just apologizing to her. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wanted this to be amazing, and it just fucking, everything fell apart. And she goes, let's just not talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then like 2 hours later, she just goes, you fucking pissed in a Ferris wheel. She goes, I've been on so many Ferris wheel rides in my life. She goes, I don't remember a single one. Yeah. I will always remember this Ferris wheel ride.
It's crazy.
That's why it's hard to fucking love me.
And she's an amazing woman for that. I would do anything for a girl like that. I mean, it's just wild. Dude, wow.
She's a fucking trooper.
Dude, I had a great time, man. This was fun, man.
Dude,
I would love to do this again, obviously.
This shit flew by.
Right. I mean, we're probably breaking records there. 3 hours?
We definitely broke records. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we're at 3 hours.
I mean, I'll be honest. I knew I was going to be your best guest. Because I've seen some of your guests. That fucking...
Start naming names,
no,
bitch.
Dude. No.
Burning bridges.
It's just, like sometimes you're good at talking and sometimes you're just not good at talking.
And to be honest, like as a host, I know.
Yeah.
It's like I know when people are going to be great. I know when it's going to be hard for me to keep the shit going. Because as the host, I have to keep the shit flowing.
Yeah.
But if a guest is good and I don't have to work that hard, it's amazing.
That's what just happened.
Exactly.
That's what boom, boom, boom.
There have been some people where it was like, oh, shit.
Like now I thought that you were going to be great.
Yeah. But now I got to work overtime and fucking really make this podcast good.
Yeah, dude. Well, dude, hit me up.
It's been great, dude.
It's been fun.
Give out social media. Give out any social media.
So basically, I got my Instagram is Ahmed Khater with 4 R's at the end because there's a lot of Ahmed Khaters there, and if you add the wrong one, it's probably a terrorist. I'm just gonna be honest. So, and then Bit Writing podcast. Bit Writing. Well, it's not Bit Writing podcast, but Bit Writing is right connected to my Instagram. You can add. You can subscribe, please. And then I think it's just Ahmed Khater on all my social media platforms. So hit me up. Add me. I'll start my podcast soon, and it's going to be fucking fire.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And I will put all the links to the social media in the description of the video. So if you want to follow Ahmed, just go to the description, hit that fucking link and follow him. always, I tell you guys, follow my Instagram, _Hernandez_comedy. If you're a new viewer, fucking like and subscribe this shit, because the more you guys support this, the bigger this will grow, the more people I can get in here.
Yeah.
Because if I have a fucking social media following, then maybe I can start getting big names in
right.
here.
Smash that like button, guys. And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah. And
thank you.
Tickle that subscribe button.
Let's go.
So, so follow Ahmed. Check out all the other fucking, what do you call it? Episodes that I've done with all these other comedians.
Yes.
Everybody's been great. These are all my friends. I don't have anybody in here who's not my friend.
Right.
So go check them out. Other than that, I love you cocksuckers. Stay tuned, and until next time.
Boom. Thank y'all.